Mothership RPG is a sci-fi horror game played by adults and contains content intended for a mature audience. The game addresses dark and difficult themes that may be uncomfortable or upsetting to some viewers, including, but not limited to, violence, gore, strong language, body horror, drug and alcohol use, loss of autonomy, and sexual content. The game also contains depictions of mental illness, trauma, stress, and panic that may not be suitable for all audiences. Our players have discussed their zones of comfort at length, and we have safety tools at our disposal. Please use caution when viewing, and be sure to take a break from the game if you feel the need.
Oh, hello everyone. Welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name is Dave, your host and warden for a new game, a game that we lovingly refer to as Mothership RPG. Now, this is a game of sci-fi, horror, cosmic terror, and all the things that terrify you, things that go bump in the night and so forth. And as such, wanted to just quickly let you know that this sci-fi horror game is played by adults and contains content intended for mature audiences. The game addresses dark and difficult themes that may be uncomfortable or upsetting to some folks, including but not limited to violence, gore, strong language, body horror, drug and alcohol use, loss of autonomy, sexual content. The game contains depictions of mental illness, trauma, stress, and panic that may not be suitable to all audiences. So tonight's players have discussed their zones of comfort at length, and we have safety tools at our disposal. Please use caution when viewing and be sure to take a break from the game if you feel the need. I also want to raise folks' attention to our stream overlays, which do include some special effects such as flashing lights that may be triggering for viewers with photosensitivity. So please take care of yourselves, enjoy the game, and then we're going to enjoy it because we've been waiting for so long to get into this game. So I'm going to introduce you to my friends who have joined me for the excitement. I'm going to transition over here. Hello, my friends. Welcome to Mothership. How are you today?
Hello, hello. Good to be here.
Great to have you here. Great to have this gang here for some sci-fi terror. Now, first of all, thank you all for joining me on this adventure. I've been wanting to play this game for a long, long time, and I finally found the perfect gang to do it with, so thank you so much. What I would love to do right now is go around the table and have each of you tell us a little bit about yourself. If you have anything that you want to promote or plug, let's do it. Let's get the word out. Let's use this as a amplifier to get that message out across the cosmos. And then tell us who you're playing and give us just a little snippet of insight. We're going to definitely get into some more detail, but a little bit of insight into your character, however you may want to do so. Let's go ahead and start with Adrian Sly Sparrow.
I knew I'd be first. Just knew it. Hi, my name is Adrian. I go off Twitch and Instagram and Twitter as Sly Sparrow. And I've been playing role-playing games for many a decade. Very glad to try this brand new sci-fi horror-based role-playing game. You can catch me on the internet and playing a lot with Superior Adventures Guild. They've been very welcoming to new players, and I'm glad to play with such a cool group of people. So reach out to me and on the internet, and we'll start a further conversation. As for my character, his name is Dimitri, and he is a pilot with kind of a shadowy past, as everyone does. He's a good old reliable pilot. Not exactly the most talkative, but when he does speak, he likes to speak with intention and speak with purpose. And he usually hears a lot of what's going on because he's the pilot, and he's always in somebody's ears, always getting people out of a jam and flying people into jams. So looking forward to see what dark corridors of the ship and the soul we get into.
Ooh, that was good. Wow. Well done. And thank you so much for being here, Adrian. I've played in a game with you, but I haven't had the opportunity and pleasure to run a game for you with you in it. So I'm very excited to see what we can create together. Thanks for being here. Let's move over to Rachel. Rachel, welcome.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? I'm Rachel. I also go by Arya Galaxy. You can find me on this channel mostly with the Guild Superior crew. You can also follow me on Twitter, Carollo_Rachel. I am playing the very beautiful, very mysterious Yael Mishraev. She is kind of a science person, kind of a medicine person, got a bit of a military background. She's new to the crew, so we don't know a whole lot about her yet, but I think we'll start to learn more about her soon.
Oh
So
yeah,
super
so
excited to play with all of you, and I'm going to keep it a little vague, I think. I'm going to stick with it there.
Okay,
Little
I
mystery.
like it. I love it. That's what we want. We want people asking for more. Oh my God, I'm so scared. Awesome. Thank you so much, Rachel,
I'm
for
just
being
terrified.
here.
I'm terrified.
I'm so excited to see what happens over the course of the next 5 weeks. And let's pass it over to Kevin, Kevran Games. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. So good to be here. Yes, I am Kevin, as he mentioned, found online at Kevran Games. I am so thrilled to be back here on SAG. It's always a fun, exciting, exhilarating time, and Mothership is going to totally rock. I am returning, and I'm playing a new character. Today I'm playing Kenneth Hayes, who is our resident Marine. He has seen some action, and that has brought him to the attention of Green Star, and now he has been put here a little bit of a head of security to make sure things get handled just properly. I think we'll find a common thread with these characters, that everyone has something in their past that they are either running from or that they are perhaps trying to bury, and I'm no exception. So let's see what happens with that. But yes, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so very much, everybody.
Awesome. Thanks. So good to have you. I love this. There's so much excitement. Thanks for the excitement and the passion. And yes, we're going to get to the bottom of what Green Star Logistics, the corporation that you all work for, has in store for you. Before we do that, let's jump over to Tim. Hello.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tim. You can find me on the Twitter, Blackmore Flam. I will pump Adventure Sling Productions, a new Varden game. I've been thankfully associated and ingrained in it from the get-go. It's an amazing game. Check it out. I will be playing Ronan, Michael, Patrick, Sean, O'Brien, Turnin. RT for short.
Thank you.
Yeah. He of the group is probably the least qualified to be here. He is a down and out, bad luck is the only luck mechanic. His past is mostly some degrees of stupid mixed with some degrees of bad luck, and he's just kind of rolling through and hoping that smashing his head against that wall will finally have a different result.
Wow. Okay. I see like a prequel that we haven't even played yet that we're going to have to play in the future about RT. How did he get all these names? Why is he hitting his head against the wall? What happened? Why is this guy so tortured and well-dressed at the same time?
Yeah.
Yep. I love it. Thank you so
Not
much for being here,
corporate
Tim.
it breaks corporate regulations, but
yes. Yeah. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
They're back on Vega 3. They don't know what's going on. What happens on board the Romulus stays on board the Romulus, as they say. Thank you all for being here. Yes, it's been said many times. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you all for being here. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us in the chat. A couple of quick shout outs. I want to make sure that we highlight the fact that we are going to be using a lot of music that's created by some great folks in the creative community. Carl Casey, which is that jam that you heard in the lead up to us going live. We're going to be using some tabletop audio tracks, some tracks from our friends at Cryo Chamber, and we're going to be using the Sirenscape audio player as well. A lot of great tunes. I love having music in the games, and so I hope you enjoy that. I put a bunch of links in the chat for you to check out their stuff, support them, because they have been gracious enough to work with us on what we're doing. And also the maps. If we get to some maps, it's going to be by Solution and Cyber Maps. These guys make awesome sort of futuristic sci-fi and cyberpunk style maps that are just beautiful. So we're going to play around with that and see what happens. If there's look, guys, if there's a battle map that comes into play, there's a 3-letter word that fits the best. And the word is run. And that,
I thought you were going to
that's
say die, so run's good.
well, yeah, run. There's two
Run.
words. Okay, one of them comes before the other. Hopefully, that's a great segue to just give folks a quick lowdown on what Mothership is all about. It's quite different than the other games that we played here at Guild Superior. It is very deadly in terms of combat encounters. They say in the rule book, once you start rolling, it's already too late. So the idea is not to roll a bunch of dice. In fact, there are some real ramifications if you fail a die roll. And if folks are watching right now, you'll see that above each of the players' little windows, there's a little stress box over in the corner there. And so stress is part of the mechanic. Fear is part of the mechanic. Sanity and panic are part of the mechanic. As that number goes up, the character's ability to deal with the stress of the situation is going to be more and more difficult. It's going to become more and more of a challenge. And the results of panicking can be very serious. So that's why we like to highlight some of the content and make sure people are aware that we're dealing with some mental mechanics that are quite interesting and quite terrifying. So it's a very much a different game. Encounters are wildly unbalanced. And, like I said, if you get into a combat encounter, think about strategy rather than running into the fray where things can get pretty damn dicey. All right. So thanks to everybody for being here. How are you guys doing? Everybody's feeling good? We still want to go through with this? We're still ready for this?
Too late to turn back now.
That's
It
it.
really is. It really is. All right. Let me just cue up some tunes here. All right. So, my friends, this unfortunate story begins in the far reaches of some unknown sector in the vast darkness of deep space. From a third-party perspective, we see a glimmer in the darkness, starting as a single focused pinpoint of light, piercing through the dark void, the light growing as we approach, getting larger and brighter. We can make out a dark metallic ship, a Green Star R-Series cargo hauler. Its thrusters emit a pulse of glowing blue ions as it slows to keep pace with a massive asteroid, an asteroid that dwarfs the ship. We pass through the ship's thick metallic hull, past the padded heat shields, electrical conduit, mechanical apparatus, and advanced instrumentation, all of these things designed to contain life within the confines of the spacecraft, while entropy and the inevitability of thermodynamics seek to disassemble, denature, and destroy everything outside. Space is unforgiving. It's an unforgiving place to live and to work. But even so, it holds promise. And for the corporate elite, for whom the four of you work, that's the promise of wealth and prosperity, given the appropriate amount of risk. For the working class stiff, the risks barely outweigh the rewards and the prospects for long-term survival, while the struggle for survival can be an effective motivator. Inside the ship, we observe its crew busying themselves about with various tasks: maintenance, repair, comms, research, security, operations, and the like. Each crew member hired for a purpose, and each of them under contract to carry out a mission. So you can get paid and go home. And that's really what it comes down to. Spend those credits on your families, on your friends, on other pursuits. Now, over the comms, second here. Over the comms, we hear a nearly human AI voice announcing the ship's status.
Modulus 7 has achieved synchronized velocity with Tenebris 979. Landing party. Prepare for departure.
We eventually find ourselves in the cargo hold, where a small team, my friends here on the screen, descend through an airlock and board a jump ship freight hauler that you refer to as the Mini Mule. The small crew makes preparations for launch. The ship's thrusters hum to life. At the helm, we have an experienced pilot named Dimitri, who settles in and runs a flight system diagnostic. Dimitri, tell us a little bit about, what you look like, what might be going through your head as you're preparing the mini mule for takeoff, and give us a little sense of who Dimitri is at this moment.
Well, Dimitri, very much, everything is very systematic. Everything is in a specific order, in a specific way. As he prepares all of his instruments for pre-launch, he is always fiddling with a Rubik's Cube. Everything in its proper place. Doing the initial pre-launch sequences, his uniform is that of the normal crew. Its sleeves are rolled up. You can tell he works a lot, not only as the pilot, but sometimes he assists Ronan from some of his. He can only be confident that his mule can run if it has been fixed, and sometimes he kind of looks over his shoulder to make sure that RT knows what he's doing. He's been many a times where there have been some mysterious engine failures, and so him and RT kind of have this kind of unspoken, not feud, but there's sometimes a little lack of trust in his abilities. In any case, he tries to be a good example to show what proper protocol is, and so he sits in his trusty leather chair, gathering all of his things, and prepares the crew for pre-launch. It's a older man, maybe late 30s, kind of stubbly, probably somewhere of Russian or Ukrainian descent, and he's kind of a no-nonsense player. He has seen a lot of people come and go. It tries not to get too attached, except for very few people, and is very fond of his cat. It is a mechanical cat, a robotic cat, named Kaz, short for Kasparov. He's known amongst the crew to be a pretty frequent chess player and finds himself usually in the mess hall playing with himself. Chess. Playing chess with himself. Yes. Or his cat.
I love it. Oh, that's great. Dimitri, you hear, as you're going through your diagnostics, you hear the familiar voice of Captain Block. Now, Captain Block is the captain of the Romulus 7, which is the main cargo hauler, long-distance cargo hauler that all of you have been working on. This is a Green Star Logistics ship. You all, of course, working under contract with Green Star Logistics, and you hear Captain Block over the comm.
All right, Dimitri, let's keep this one short and sweet. Corporate's little side hustle is going to cost us time, and we just don't have it. They've got us with the fine print on this fucking contract. Now, not one bit of this honeydew is giving me altruistic vibes. Catch my drift? We might work for Green Star, but let's not put our lives on the line for Green Star any more than we already have. I'm getting paid to transport this cargo here to Callisto. That runs side missions for some mining colony in Sector N77, capiche?
Roger that, Captain. We will have a short trip. Pre-launch sequence nearly complete.
Very well. Comms check with Tenebris is somewhere between full distortion and static. Shortwave scans are giving us nothing, but we've got visual interference of some sort. Some sort of dust cloud and particulation may be a concern. Look, if corporate command wasn't making this a priority, we'd sail right past. But Dimitri, don't make me fucking regret this. Bring my mini mule and my crew back in mostly one piece. That's a fucking order.
Yes, Captain.
Now, looking behind you, Dimitri, you see the 4-person crew buckled in and running through their own set of pre-launch checklists. You mentioned the grease monkey, our friend RT. RT, tell us a little bit about what we see, what RT is doing, making preparations, and a little bit about what is going through RT's mind at this moment as you're getting ready to head down to this asteroid.
Well, RT's a kind of lanky kid, mid-20s, sort of sandy brown hair, some scruff around the chin. He is currently fiddling with a crowbar that he is meticulously repainting orange on one end with a can of spray paint. And just visible between his feet is a 6-pack of beer that has been sitting there since he placed it there when he came aboard. And you can see his Hawaiian shirt underneath his atmosphere suit, and it's just, he's comfortable. His posture is relaxed, and he's sort of paying attention to Dimitri, but it's kind of a the idea, he has no clue how to fly, so he's just kind of like, well, that must be nice. That's kind of a cool thing to do, and oh well. He's under no delusions. He's here to fix whatever's broken down there. So hopefully it doesn't blow up on him. That's his attitude.
Understood. I think the rest of the crew probably feels the same way.
He's more of a nihilist in that if anything can go bad, it will go bad. So
as you're fiddling with your 6-pack and putting on, getting your harness ready, the camera pans over to Yale, who is themselves getting things prepared as well. So please, Yale, give us a little bit of a description and some thoughts on what's running through her head at this moment.
Yeah, you see Yael, a hardened military woman who has put up many walls and barriers towards men in her field, sitting as far away from the rest of the crew as she can in this small space, but astutely listening to everything that was going on, always making sure that maybe she's not looking like she's interested, but she's listening in, and if allowed, listening in on what the captain just said to our pilot, and making little faces to herself as he gets a little bit cussed out. But Yael is of Israeli descent at some point in her past, obviously has not, been to Earth in a while, but many of her relatives and family in the past are likely descended. She has long dark hair, olive skin, brown eyes, and wears the uniform as it's supposed to. And she is recently joined to this crew. Yael has only been with the crew for about 2 weeks when the cargo was picked up from Helvetios 8729. So since then, she's kind of been keeping a low profile, working on the deck with her boss. She does various science duties, various medical duties as needed, and she's not 100% sure why she was assigned to this particular crew, so she's just kind of like going through the motions. But she's mostly has her mind on a meeting she had a few days ago about a particular task that she needs to perform, and wondering whether or not that's going to come up soon. But it's always kind of in her mind. You do see she has a little black journal that she's kind of scribbling in, absent-mindedly. Somebody pissed her off right before they got on the shuttle, so she's writing something maybe not so nice about them. And you see that the only patch she has on her uniform is a little astronaut. He's got his pockets turned out, and it just says, "All out of fucks to give." And that's the only patch that Yael found worthy of adding to her uniform in the last couple weeks.
Nice. Thank you for that. And then, of course, as the camera pans over to our Chief Security Officer, Corporal Kenneth Hayes. Corporal Hayes, tell us a little bit about yourself, what we see as the camera pans, and what's going through the hazy mind of Corporal Hayes.
Absolutely, yes. Hayes is sitting ramrod straight in his chair. He is wearing full military fatigues. He does have a hat on, however, that does say security, and his dog tags are visible. Anybody at a quick glance would notice that his dog tags, one of them has his designation, the other one is blank. A strange thing to notice about him, but he is sitting there. He has a file on his personal handout. I forget now the term that you told us it was, the little data pad that I have. I am looking at that to see some specifics about the mission at hand, and reviewing that, we see that Hayes will look up and glance around. He'll just do a quick once-over on everybody to make sure that everybody is okay. He has sky blue eyes that are very serious, yet have a kindness deep within them. He has short blonde hair, and he is looking about. He's clean shaven, and he is got a bit of a very serious yet put upon attitude. Like, he definitely is a guy who is serious about what he's doing, but he knows that there is a lot going to have to be done for the mission. So he's just looking over everything and taking it all in.
Fantastic. So yeah, each of you has basically like a hand terminal where you can access data feed if you are linked to the system. Right now, you would be linked to the Romulus 7 system, so you can access data. And so it's kind of like, think of like a futuristic cell phone kind of device. You'll be able to use it to communicate with each other as long as it's able to link up to a broader network. So think the hand terminals in the Expanse show, if you've been watching Expanse, which I highly recommend. As each one of you has introduced yourself, some of you have mentioned a trinket. So when we rolled up characters, each of you has a trinket. Our pilot Dimitri has a Rubik's Cube. Our scientist Yael has this journal, and I'll leave it to you to tell us what the name of the journal is later. Our grease monkey mechanic RT has a 6-pack of beer, and our Marine has a...
Yes, Corporal Hayes has a dented prospector's mug that is hanging off the back of his backpack that he has to take down to the planet's surface for the mission at hand.
I love that. It's so random. I love it. So just behind Corporal Hayes sits the fifth member of your party. This is, of course, Corporal Hayes, you know this to be Lance Garcia. He is a Green Star security associate who has been working with you for a number of weeks. Looking calm, professional, ready for anything. Kind of guy that you like having at your side when you're making house calls to remote mining colonies, that kind of thing. Giant rocks hurtling through deep space. You want to land on one, he's your guy. Despite
Absolutely.
Maybe his sordid past, which you might have caught slight glimpses into, his record's been mostly sealed, but as the sort of the ranking officer, I would say, of the security detail here on the Romulus 7, you would have access to some of those records. Of course, some of your records have also been sealed, which is interesting to note. Regardless, Hayes looks over at you and gives you a knowing nod as if they're ready to go. And that, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, we want to make sure we take this thing in nice and smooth, everybody. And I'll turn to Garcia. We want to make sure we're not going full disco on this. We want to make sure everything's completely up and up.
As you say that, you hear Captain Block's voice coming in over your comm, and it is on a secure line. None of the others hear this, but Corporal Hayes, you do hear this.
Corporal, keep an eye on everyone. You're in charge down there, and we'll stick to protocol. In and out. Simple, EV, alive. Copy?
Yes, and I must ask you, Dungeon Master, Game Master, is this a universe we're playing in that differentiates between calling a commander a sir or ma'am, or is it just all sir? Is there differences there?
I would say that everybody can be called sir.
Okay.
In this particular unit. At least that's what Captain Block likes.
Absolutely. Understood, sir. Everything will be handled accordingly.
Final preparations are now made. Now, the things that you know about what's recently happened is that 2 weeks ago, the Romulus 7, which is, again, this large ship that you're on. Folks call it the Mule. That's sort of like the nickname for it. You left from a research facility on Helvetios, 8729. That's when Yael joined the crew. You have an unknown payload on board that's destined for a high-security prison in the Callisto system. 2 days ago, Green Star Corporate Command directed the Mule to a mining outpost in sector N7709. Kind of random. They gave no justification for the change of plans. Only the reminder that you and the crew are on contract. Transmission over. Hard stop. This diversion adds at least a week to your flight plan. And most of the crew, including Captain Block, are pretty annoyed at the inconvenience, as you might have gathered. And nobody really knows why you've been ordered to make the stop. Well, almost no one. As you have been given your orders to touch down on the asteroid, there's a mining colony there. Captain Block has assigned Hayes to overwatch and provide security for the landing party. Captain Block has directed RT to investigate the malfunctioning comms array and repair it if possible. Dimitri, you're the ride to and from the rock. Priority is keeping the party alive for obvious reasons and maintaining the ship. And for kind of unclear reasons, Yael was specifically assigned to the landing party by corporate command. Maybe as a liaison to the mining admins. Hard to say. Unclear. But nevertheless, your ship is ready to go. It detaches from the larger Romulus. And you get that sense of like that initial turbulence as you detach from the larger ship. The clanging sound, the flex of the steel, the creaking of the ship as the thrusters are given a little bit of juice. Dimitri, you give them a little bit of extra power to pull away. The asteroid itself is enormous. I mean, it could be planetary if it weren't for the fact that it has no atmosphere, and it's just a rock hurtling through space. It's not on any well-defined orbit around any particular star. But it is there below you, and as you get eyes on it for the first time, you can see this desolate, barren rock that just floats in space, and the ship kind of pulls away, and you start to accelerate towards this asteroid. You can see now as you get closer that it's not necessarily the surface that you're able to see. It's actually a cloud of particulate matter that's almost like sloughing off of this rock as it's hurtling through space. Now it's all weird because you're at the same trajectory as it, and it seems like it's not really moving, but both of you are moving at the same velocity. So it's kind of this weird optical illusion, but you can definitely see that there's this mercurial sort of mist that swirls and peels away, and you can feel it on the ship as you start to kind of descend into it. This is no problem for you, Dimitri. You've piloted ships through all kinds of different conditions. This is not a problem. The rest of you, have varying degrees of comfortability with ships, I'm sure, but this is nothing out of the ordinary for Dimitri as you start to descend towards this rock. You do your check-ins with the captain and with the comms deck on board the Romulus. Everything seems like it's going well. The four of you, including Garcia, are essentially in a status of descending in the ship. You have an opportunity to talk amongst yourselves if you want, as Dimitri starts to pull the ship into the dust clouds a bit.
Starting final approach.
Hayes will get up and he will walk over to where the doctor is, and he'll say, "Excuse me, doctor, I wanted to know if you had a moment that you could spare to converse with me."
Is that me? You see Yael looks up at you and she's like, "I don't think my title's technically doctor, but fine, whatever. What do you want?"
"Oh, well, forgive me. What should I refer to you then?"
Yael's fine.
"Very well. I Wanted to make sure we were more formally and properly introduced. I know you're new to the operation here, and I wanted to make sure that you knew that things were handled a certain way.
Okay, and what should I refer to you as?
I'm Corporal Hayes.
Corporal. I see.
I wanted to make sure that you had any questions that you might have had answered before we touched down.
I have no questions. Why? Did you have questions for me?
I don't have any particular questions for you. Just wanted to make sure that you were okay.
Great. Yeah, then you can sit your ass down, and I think I can handle myself just fine.
Copy that, ma'am.
Corporal, you may want to return to your seats. We're about to start landing procedures.
Also, I just want to point out, I love Kev.
I
Sorry being mean to you.
I turned to Dimitri. Yes, thank you very much, sir. I'm going to turn and I'm going to sit back down. And there's a moment where I lock eyes with RT and just kind of look away like, oh boy.
You notice Yael pointedly opens her journal and starts writing something in it and like looks at you and then keeps writing.
He ignores it. He's kind of rubbing his fingers together a certain way, and we as an audience would see that he has a bunch of scars on his knuckles on his one hand that he's fiddling with.
All right, everyone, make sure that your tray tables are in an upright position, and make sure you have your seatbelts on. Starting final approach.
You hear one last transmission from Block talking about just technical details of the approach, the landing, the fact that if you recall, you haven't been able to contact the mining colony. The comms are down for whatever reason. And as you descend into the dust cloud that's peeling and sloughing off of this rock, in the middle of her talking to you, totally lose her communication as you make your way into this dense, and you lose your visual on the rock itself. It's just dark. Everything kind of goes dark at this point. Dimitri, this starts to get a little hairy for you, but you grab the controls and you're able to keep control. The rest of you, depending on your sort of comfortability with space travel at this level, the whole mini mule, which is a smaller, almost like a 16-wheeler type cargo jump ship, is like shuddering. It's loud. You can barely hear yourself think. And you begin to come through the other side. The whole thing shuddering and the chaos for a moment, and you drop down. It's almost like you lose altitude and you kind of feel, that the pit of your stomach kind of like rise up a little bit when you're in an airplane, and you kind of drop a few, 20, 30 feet. Well, you drop up maybe like 80 feet as you come out of the cloud, and you get the first look of this barren surface rock, these huge canyons, these massive impact craters. To give you a little bit of a perspective on the sheer size of this thing, the average diameter of this particular asteroid, and maybe Corporal Hayes, you would have accessed this data on your hand terminal prior to launch. This thing the diameter is on average 140 miles. So it's roughly the distance between LA and San Diego in its diameter of this rock. Of course, it's not a complete sphere. There's pieces that look as though they've broken off at points, and it's definitely been hit with debris. As you see, there are massive craters on the surface, Dimitri, as you're flying across the surface in your little mini mule cargo jump ship, making your way towards where you think the mining colony is, based on your telemetry data that you were provided ahead of time. You don't see it at this moment as you're scanning the landscape, but it looks desolate, and you're thinking in your mind, we don't want to ever have to be out in that without comms. You check comms again. You have no connection with Hillary Block, the captain of the Romulus. There's absolutely no connection. You try to hail the mining colony at all?
Yeah, if we can't get communication with Romulus, then definitely send out a communication signal, kind of like a hail, see whether or not if they are there, we want to make sure that they're aware that we're coming, and I want to know if there's any people even alive on this station.
Okay, so you attempt to hail their comms, and you just get static as a response. When you let go of the transceiver, you just hear static over the comms, and the rest of you hear it as well, and are getting a sense that there's a serious problem with their comm system, as predicted.
Can I hear if it's static? Is it a signal that's garbled, or is it no signal at all?
That's a great question. You do not get a sense that there's anything that's trying to send a response. It's just like white noise.
Okay.
Yep. And you would be pretty attuned to those types of things because you've worked on these systems before, these comm systems and these relay towers and that sort of thing. This does not give you a sense that anyone is trying to respond to Dimitri's initial outreach.
Well, no signal's not a good signal.
You continue flying along the surface lower now and coming in, and you crest this ridgeline and you see this massive crater. And in the center of the crater, there is a small, what appears to be small, mining operation. There are some buildings connected by passageways. And as you get closer, you start to see that it's an actual sizable operation. It looks like whoever is the prospecting company, and perhaps, again, Kenneth Hayes, you had a chance to look this up. It's an organization called Sundian Holdings, which is, of course, a subsidiary of Green Star Logistics, who you work for. You pass over the top of it, Dimitri, as you're looking for a place to land. Again, you've had no communications to give you any sort of flight path or guidance or landing instructions whatsoever. And as you fly over, everything in the ship goes dark. You absolutely lose control of the ship itself, and this is very troubling for you. I need you to, Dimitri, to make a piloting check. Our first roll of the game, my friends. Now, Mothership RPG is a roll under game when you're rolling on your skills, your stats, and your saves. However, when we get into the panic side of things, you want to roll over your stress level. So see that stress number up in the corner of the screens? If we ever have to make a panic check, they're going to roll a d20 and roll over that number to be okay. If they roll under that number, then things start to happen. Otherwise, when we're rolling against our skills and saves, we're rolling under them. So Dimitri, give us you're a pilot. You've got some skills, some appropriate skills. Give us a roll.
And I add 15 because it's an expert.
You have an expert skill in piloting, yep. So add 15 to your base. Let's call it speed. As you're trying to, well, I'll let you decide. You can either do speed or intellect, because you might be using two different means of trying to regain control of the ship.
Right. I think in this one is primarily, I think probably would be, this is a fast-paced situation, and I'm just being instinctual on trying to stay above the elements and remembering my training. But I think I have to act fast, so I rolled an 88.
An 88?
Mm-hmm. I rolled D100, right?
Yep, you rolled a D100 and you rolled an 88. Okay, so here's another fun thing about Mothership. When you roll doubles, that's called a critical. And when you roll doubles that are a success, that is a crit success, and really, really good things can happen. Beautiful, wonderful things can happen. When you roll a doubles that are above and it's a failure, that's called a critical failure, my friend.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is in Guild Superior history?
Yes.
What is the fastest that we've had a TPK? Because if we all die in this ship,
we're about to set a record, y'all.
We already went Fade to Black. This is
Did
the
you guys
epilogue.
not pack a parachute? Is that
my God,
was I the only one who got that memo?
Look, we had a Blade Runner game a couple months ago, and Bleak Season basically killed everybody in the first episode.
Well,
Nice.
but I'm just saying we haven't even hit the hour mark yet. So.
I know.
And we're about to hit the asteroid. So
Oh, I was supposed to roll low, wasn't I?
Yeah, you want to
Yes.
roll under. All right, so that's first of all, we've got ourselves. It's going to be our first panic check, so just hold on, don't do anything. I want everybody else to roll a fear check. So everybody has an attribute called, a save called fear. And this is, you all know that this is out of the ordinary to lose all the lights in the ship, to see your pilot struggling to like figure out what's going on. So I need everybody to make a fear check. This is wonderful. I'm having
And you
fun
think it's like
already.
Dimitri never loses his calm, but once you'd hear him say, "Bonjour, moi," it'd be like we're going down.
What's happening?
Yep.
Got a 5.
What
Okay,
do we
so
roll?
that's a success. So you're rolling against your fear save. You want to roll below it. So save for RT.
5.
Okay.
You also
save.
got a 5?
Wow.
That's weird.
All right. What'd you get, Kenneth?
Hayes got a 43 under a 45.
Oh, you lucky.
Question.
Dimitri?
RT and Yael are just like, just another ship. I've been on so
Question.
many before.
Yep.
RT's just like, I didn't do it.
Not on me.
Dimitri rolled a 37, and his fear is 37. So is that a success or is that a
No,
failure?
that's a fail. You got to
What?
roll under it. Yep.
That's
has
a
to be
failure.
under.
Yep. So
Okay.
Dimitri is going to gain 1 level of fear, of stress, which you can see just went up on the screen there. So your stress is now 3. And you rolled. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and just like let people know we have a panic check, and here come the strobe lights. We got a panic check. We got our first panic check. All right, so
Roll over a 3, bud.
Yep,
Please.
I need you to make a panic check, Dimitri, and you need to roll over a 3, please.
And which die do I roll?
D20.
This is a D20. Yep.
Over a 3.
You could do over a 3.
Yeah, not a problem.
Natural 20.
Yes.
Very
There we
nice. All right,
Nice.
all right. So you managed to maintain your concentration well enough to keep yourself thinking about the task at hand. Is like, how do we fix the ship? However, you do see that the ship is descending rapidly towards the ground. All of you kind of look forward. You can see you're losing altitude as the ship's controls have not come back on. What are you going to do?
I would
Dimitri?
like to dive into the guts of this ship and try to find an alternate power or whatever.
Hell yeah, I love it. Give me a roll. So this is gonna be a what do you think this roll is gonna be? You've got
Mechanical repair?
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
Okay, I'm an expert on that. I'll use intellect. So that's a 55 goal. And I rolled a 25.
Okay, very nice. So you unbuckle your harness and you kind of reach forward below the instrument panel, and you start fiddling. You pop open a little hatch, and you're like looking for the short or something. And at some point, you don't even know what you do and you're not 100% sure it's what you did.
Right.
But what happens is the ship, everything comes back on as Dimitri kind of pulls back on the yoke, or is it the choke or the yoke? Anyways, yoke. Thank you. And you kind of raise up just as the ship scrapes against a ridgeline, and the whole thing shudders and shakes. But you pull up, and at that point, you can kind of catch your breath. And you look down and you can see the mining facility as you have power back on, and you make your descent.
Let's not do that again, eh? All right.
Hayes is gripping the handles of his chair, white-knuckled. He has a flashback of just a brief glimpse, a flash, literally, of another ship that he was in going down, but not pulling out, like Dimitri just did. And he flashes back to the moment, and that's, he almost lost it there for a second, but it was close. So.
Yael's pissed. She yells, "What in the fucking hell just happened, Dimitri? I thought you're supposed to be a good pilot.
I'm not the mechanic. You see the power with that. What was I supposed to do?
Also, ma'am, no offense, but you can't fly if you don't have power.
RT, is there anything you could tell me about what happened?
The hell if I know. I think I jiggled something, but
Can you maybe take a look around and let us know what the situation might be?
I can try.
What happened is this thing's a piece of junk, and you see she like kicks like one of the chairs.
You're more than welcome to try the door and fly down yourself if you need to.
But also, she's right. It is a piece of junk.
Yeah.
This piece of junk has
Thank
saved
you.
all of our lives. Okay.
It's true.
Well, it almost killed all of our lives too, but whatever. I'll look.
You do a scan on the system as Dimitri is piloting into the landing area, and your scan does not indicate anything happened to the ship. It doesn't even log the power loss. There's missing data, but there's usually you would go through the log file, the error files, and you'd be able to find like the moment that the system went down. You do not see that at all. It's as if there's just
Did you perform the maintenance check on the ship on the mule before launch, like I told you?
Of course I did. Why wouldn't I?
Did you inspect the
Inspect
auxiliary
what?
power, like I told you?
Do you think that was the auxiliary power that just kicked on?
Well, you seem to go straight to it.
No, I was just trying to find auxiliary. I didn't do anything.
Look, we don't have time for this chatter, okay? Dimitri's an excellent pilot. He's got us out of this. RT, just make your sweeps, please. Let us know exactly what's going on. I'm sure you took a look beforehand, but let's have you take a second look just to calm my nerves a little bit, please.
I'm telling you, there's nothing here.
Well, triple check. Okay, buddy?
Okay, you're the boss.
I give him a little pat on the shoulder as he moves past me.
I need a beer.
Indeed you do, and you continue to scan the diagnostics, and again, nothing indicates that there was any loss of power. None of the systems failed. You're not sure that what you did really fixed the situation, but nevertheless, the 5 of you are alive. And you've come into the landing bay, and the mini mule sets down. Typically, now we know that there's no atmosphere on this particular rock. Typically, there would be a ground crew that would come out and start to help, essentially secure the ship. Nobody comes out. It is quiet. There is a red beacon light that just kind of blinks. Boop, boop, boop.
Red lights aren't good.
And there is a hangar with a large blast shield door on it that is closed, and a smaller, man-sized door that is also closed, and that's where you would expect, people to come out. Now, you do know that as you land, you look around, and you know this because it's your mini mule, Dimitri, but you do have vac suits for everybody on board. So you do have, if you need to use the vac suits, those are available. Those will give you atmospheric, oxygen, so you'll be able to work outside if you need to. But nobody comes out. You land the ship. You I don't know if you shut it down, but you touch down on the ground. What do you do?
As the ship goes down, Dimitri is going to just whisper to himself, kind of like a silent prayer that one was a rough one type thing. Unbuckle as soon as we're done, and we're done. We're down. There is no welcome committee, folks. So I will start prepping the ship for any kind of takeoff. So,
well, do you want us to go in and open the blast doors and fly in, or?
I think we might need power to open the blast doors. I don't know why it looks pretty
there's power.
abandoned.
At least auxiliary. There's that light.
RT, maybe you and I should go take a walk and take a look to make sure if there's anything we can do to get the doors open. Might be easier for us to land in there that way. Garcia, I'll have you watch security here on the ship just to make sure that we don't have any other power outages. Yael, if you wouldn't mind just sitting tight.
Would I, DM Dave, would I know, I need to get in there, or am I good to sit tight for a while, do you think? What would I know of the urgency?
you certainly didn't expect such a cold response to your arrival.
Yeah.
You know, that seems a little strange to you, especially given, you know, what you expected to encounter when you arrived. So it does seem a little weird that there's no ground crew. I think you'd be thinking about it a little bit more in terms of what should be done.
Yeah, I think Yael goes and grabs one of the vac suits and goes, I'm going down with you, whether you like it or not, and just starts putting it on without asking for permission.
Dimitri
Well, my
will
duty
look
here
very
is
quickly
security.
before-
I think perhaps you should just stay on board, and there's one last person for me to take a look around.
I gotta get in there, and I want to see what's going on, and I'm not just gonna sit here with my thumb in my ass, so I'm going.
Well,
End of sentence, end of statement. And she's putting the helmet on.
we all need to get in there, and why don't you go ahead and let me and mine make sure that it's nice and secure before you take a little trounce right in there.
Did you say trounce? I love the word trounce. You can come along too, but I'm going.
Well, these two are having an argument of sorts about, you know, protocol. Dimitri, you're check-in diagnostics. You're going over some of the information that RT had gone over. You're trying to make sure that you're set for takeoff, and that's when you notice that there is actually. It's almost as if it's the time sequence is off, but there is a record now in the log that just pops up, and you see a red light blinking on your dash on the console in front of you, and it's a fuel line. There's something about the fuel line was damaged during the scrape against the ridge line.
So the fuel line is currently damaged. This wasn't the cause
damaged.
of the power outage.
Right. You get the sense that it was damaged in the partial crash before you pulled up, and nobody else notices this at the moment.
Well, looks like we may have a problem. We have a problem with the fuel line. I will go check to make sure that there's no damage and there's no.
Maybe I should go check.
Very good.
You know,
Just be careful with maybe if it's a fuel line break, it may be explosive.
Now, if there's damage to the vehicle, I am authorizing substandard 23.61 to make sure that you are supposed to stay here until it is repaired.
Oh,
Well-
yes, there's a big, lots of damage to this ship. Oh, yes.
Here's the thing.
Thank you, Dimitri.
If the kid is out there fixing it, you're gonna need someone to watch your back, bucko. So
I trust that Garcia here can make sure that you are nice and safe. And I will take the helmet out of her hands.
Well, Hayes, you're gonna make me stay here? Like, I feel like I could help out outside. Yeah.
You could, but I want to make sure that everyone is nice and I'll turn right to Aiel. Secure and safe and feels comfortable.
fine.
I don't feel comfortable.
I will take the helmet that she was going to put on. I'll shove it into his hands.
How many
Great,
suits?
let's go.
How many suits are on board?
There are enough vac suits for everyone on board.
Cool. Yael sits down for a minute or two.
RT and
We'll start suiting up.
Hayes, you get suited up, and you go down to the airlock area, where you make the final preparations. You check each other's equipment to make sure everything's good. The whole time, RT, you are sweating inside as the oxygen, sort of the stale taste of the oxygen tank kind of pushes the oxygen into the helmet. You can kind of hear the hiss of the air sort of surrounding your face in this kind of fishbowl helmet that you're wearing. You can just feel yourself sweating, like anxiety is starting to kick in with the mention of the fuel line being damaged, and you start to have like a little bit of an anxiety episode. And I need you to make a fear save.
So quick.
Hayes, you kind of notice like he's pausing and like he's at the door, like ready to open the airlock door to go outside, and like just kind of pausing.
I got a 27, which is 10 below my there.
RT, are you okay, buddy?
Brush it off.
I'm yeah, I'm all right. It's just I'll take care of it. But you just yeah, I should take care of it. Is the thing.
Good. Well, this bar's not going to close itself down, so you got me, right?
Right. Let's do this. Yeah.
Okay. And Hayes will start making his way towards the blast door.
Yep, RT, you hit the button. The red light starts spinning to alert you to the fact that the airlock is about to open. Gives a countdown, and finally, you find yourselves buffeted by wind. You know, just like this strong wind that blows across the surface of this asteroid and into the airlock a bit as you sort of fight against it to make your way down the ladder to the ground. It's solid ground. It's rocky, bouldery, barren, almost desert-like. What do you intend to do?
I'm gonna go looking for that fuel line.
Yeah, it's not hard to find with the damaged area of the ship. You get underneath the hull of the ship and you can find that there is a large gash from a rock that you collided with. You're thankful that it's not worse. You guys could have definitely had a worse impact. But you can see that there's some repairs that need to be made, and you don't necessarily have the tools to do it.
How badly is the fuel line messed up?
Well, there is an automatic shutdown system in place so that you're not just leaking fuel.
Right.
So the system went into play when the damage happened. The fuel line itself looks like it probably needs to be replaced. Like there is some, and this is all shielded behind, like plates of steel, but because of the impact, it just tore through this area near where the fuel is loaded into the ship. And so that's where the damage occurs. But you feel like if you've popped off some paneling, you've looked inside, and the damage is extensive, you can fix it. You've worked on stuff like this before. You just need the materials and tools to do it.
Corporal.
Yes.
I'm just standing here. I might as well be the lady with her finger up there, because there's nothing I can do here. If we can get her inside, and maybe they have some spare parts, and really we need some shielding on here. It looks like the fuel line's safe enough for now. I'm gonna go ahead and just drain the whole system to the next one, and so there's absolutely no fuel in here at all.
Negative. Do we have enough fuel to coast us in once I get the door open? Then you can do the draining within.
No, I'm just gonna transfer it to the other tank. I'm gonna move it all to the auxiliary tank, so we'll have a little extra backup. But I just want to make sure there's no fuel anywhere on either side of this damaged fuel line.
All right, you're the mechanic. I appreciate it, RT. I'm gonna go ahead and get this door open for you, then, buddy.
Okay.
While they're out there and having this conversation, the moment that the airlock opens, Yael's going to walk up to the front and say to Dimitri, "We've got to try and at least contact them again. It was probably just the interference of whatever the fuck was in the atmosphere while we were coming down. Just contact them and see if they'll open the doors for us."
Okay. I will give it a try.
And you see she's like kind of like tapping on the dash, like a little bit nervous, but it's not on her face. You just notice it like in her fingers.
Well, I figured that, we've had a very eventful landing, so I think we're all kind of on edge. So.
Landing station. This is Mini Mule from Romulus 7. We are requesting the doors to be opened. The landing bay. We're requesting landing clearance. Please come in. Over.
It is nothing.
You hear nothing but static over the comms as you release the transmitter. And you can see now, too, that Garcia is kind of pacing. And he looks over at you, Yale, and he's like, I don't like being stuck here any more than you do. Seems like something's not right here.
You want to go in there with me,
This
soldier?
is probably the safest place to be. I mean, it's...
Yeah, but safe's not productive, and the sooner we get our mission done, the sooner we can get the hell out of here.
And we're sitting ducks here. We can't move.
So you and me want to suit up and give that corporal a bit of help, since obviously I don't know if he can handle it on his own.
Look, Corporal Hayes is he's a good man. He means well. But yeah, let's go.
I have my orders, so I'm gonna suit up, and if you'd like to join me, let's do it.
I've got to go with you then, because my orders are to keep track of people, so it's a win-win.
Well, my
Great.
orders are to keep you all alive, and so I want to make sure that if you find anything, if there's anything out of...
Find what?
Then just come back to the ship. Or stay in
What?
communication.
The worst thing we're gonna find is someone went on a coffee break and fucked up, and obviously that's why they're not opening the doors. Like,
Totally.
It's not like we've got boogeymans or whatever. It's just gonna be someone fucked up and not answering the door. So I'm not too worried about it.
You, Dimitri, you want to come with? I mean...
I'm going to follow my orders. I will stay here just in case we need to get away.
Sounds good.
Fair enough. And, yeah.
Oh, quick question, Dimitri. The local comms are working, right? So we can hear Hayes and RT, and you can hear us, right?
Let me check the channel. Dave, were we able to hear the conversation between the comms between RT and Hayes?
Yes.
Or was that just...
You have communications with them. It depends. It's when they want you to hear it, you can hear it.
Okay, it's not an open channel.
It's not an
like,
open
the whole
channel.
frequency.
Yep. Unless they want to use an open channel, they certainly can.
Okay.
And big shout out to Scarpy TV. Everybody's got an advantage. Please keep track of your advantage.
Nice.
It's going to be super helpful.
Nice.
Thank you.
Can you remind
Thank
us?
you.
Can you remind us mechanically what advantage looks like? Is that a re-roll? Is that adding? What does that
So
look like?
you can use that before you roll if you're in a tight spot, which you will be, and you want to be like, I need to make this roll with advantage. You would roll your D100 twice and take the better.
Just
of
the
two.
100, not the 10.
Well, you'd roll them both.
Oh,
again.
you'd roll both.
Yep.
Okay.
Roll them twice and take the lower of the two. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Thank you.
Com
Yeah.
check, Corporal. Do you copy? Com check, Corporal. Corporal Hayes.
This is Hayes. Come in, Dimitri.
Just checking comms, making sure that, just informing you that Gael and Garcia are on their way.
Repeat last transmission.
Too late.
Well, they're on their way.
And as Dimitri says that, Hayes, you turn to look back towards the airlock, and you see your doctor Yael and Garcia walking out towards you, and Garcia just kind of.
I'll make a quick walk over to them, and as I approach, I'll say, was there something that perhaps was a problem? Was there something that you needed?
I'll look to the other guy and see if he'll say anything before I do.
No problem. Corporal.
I believe the words sitting ducks were used at one point, so I think we'd rather just help you get in there and get this mission over with.
I mean, she does have a point, Corporal. We need to get in there and see. I'm just going to shut up now.
Garcia, you and I are both aware of what exactly strings I had to pull to get you on this mission.
Leave the kid alone.
Fair enough.
Well, since you're already out here, Doctor, perhaps you'd like to accompany me on the rest of my mission to get the door open. Garcia will keep a point.
Again, not a doctor, but yeah, let's go. Let's get that door open.
Well, you'll forgive me. Your dossier says that you're a doctor.
Just because I fixed some legs on a battlefield a few times doesn't make me a doctor. We'll just go with scientist or genius or whatever the hell you want to call me. I don't really give a shit.
I'm just out
A
of
couple of
curiosity
choice titles I
for
think
the
I'd like to give
warden.
you, but
Oh, jeez. Nice.
and Hayes just turns and he starts making a path back towards the door, hopefully with her coming behind.
Yael makes a mental note to write in her journal, but knows
Yeah.
that she can't in the back suit.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Thank you for that. All right, so you two and probably Garcia start to make your way over to the blast doors to the hangar bay. RT, are you going with them?
Yeah, after he finishes draining the whole line, he calms to Dimitri. We got a little extra in the auxiliary tank, so if it starts to get low, just kick in and it'll be the same.
Copy that.
Okay. I'm gonna go follow them now. Like, don't take off, okay? Like, at least, you know.
I assure you that when I take off, your bodies will be on board. No Svidonia. Don't get any on you.
Can't tell if it's a promise or a threat, but
I never understand the Russian parts. And he walks away, and he will follow.
The 4, I should say, with Garcia, the 4 of you, and you can see this all happening, Dimitri, from the control, the control panels, and from you can actually view it from where you're sitting inside the cockpit. You can see them walking up to the blast shield, slowly in their bulky vac suits as they get up to the main door, and the door doesn't just open. It's a shield door, and there is a little keypad, card reader pad type of device, some sort of access panel next to the door. And you go through your normal, pattern recognition that you would get, that Green Star would give you to get into a facility, and it doesn't seem to work. It doesn't even respond.
Well, that's certainly handy. Is there another way that we could go around? RT, do you have any sort of software on your personal terminal that could help bypass this?
No, I'm no hacker, man. I could maybe bypass the lock, but I mean it's hard to guarantee the shield would stay, stable.
What about a manual override? A lever of some sort?
I could look for something, sure.
All right, well, let's take a quick look around. I think that maybe 4 sets of eyes are better than just 2. And I'll look at Ayel to let her know that she's included on this.
I mean, yeah.
copy that.
That's 4 instead of... Anyway, right. So look for a panel that says manual override.
All right.
So the 4 of you start looking
Dave.
about for...
Sorry,
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
a question really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have in my inventory a cybernetic diagnostic scanner, and I
Okay.
know that that's technically mostly medical, but technically the description allows the user to scan androids and other cybernetic organisms in order to diagnose any issues they may be having.
Okay.
So do you think I could try that on the door, or some kind, is there a power box or something I could try to scan with this thing and see if it's having issues, or is there just no power to this thing at all?
Yeah, you don't even need to scan it. There is no, you don't get the sense that there's power to it. After RT kind of walks away and starts looking around, you take a look at it and you kind of like tap it a little bit, and it doesn't even light up. Usually if there's motion over these types of devices, it'll kind of come to life. You know, it's in a sleep mode, dark sleep mode, and then it'll come to life once there's motion. This thing does not give way. It does not give you any sort of response.
Okay. Is that what that's used for, by the way, or am I just using it wrong?
This would be more to like scan cybernetic organisms to like
an
see,
android.
Yeah, like what's wrong with them, or how are they functioning? Are they, operable? Is there something malfunctioning? That kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry about that. Wasn't sure exactly.
That's fine. That's a good question. What do you guys intend to do here?
I think we should either look for another entry or try to force the door.
Yes, out of character, we are in agreement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would RT, looking at this door, consider if forcing the door would make the door useless? Like if I break the mechanism, is it just going to stay open?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you wouldn't want to break the mechanism because then you wouldn't be able to seal it securely. It would damage the door. The door would need to be repaired, and now you'd have 2 repair jobs to do. Plus, you're here already to help repair the comms, so that would be your 3rd repair job. And it's almost like you need your own damn journal to keep track of all these repairs that need to be made. And that is when Dimitri, as you're sort of providing overwatch, you see some movement out of the corner of your eye, and you look over and you can see something flash between 2 of the out sort of buildings that are nearby the where your party is currently working at the door, trying to get the door open or talking. They seem to be having a conversation, maybe on an open channel, I'm not sure. But you look over, something catches your attention. You see something dart between rocks, from rock to rock, boulders. You're not sure what it was, but you saw movement, and it was fast.
Mini-meal crew, I've spotted a visual. You may be having company. Stand by, be on guard.
From which direction did that come?
From the boulders. It's looking more toward your east, I believe.
Copy
move
that.
Very quickly. Maybe some kind of residence thing. Stand by.
Copy that. Garcia, if you could, please set up a secure sweep. Let us know exactly what we might be dealing with.
Roger. And he starts walking off towards the boulders, kind of not too far. He sets up a post and just is watching. He doesn't get too far from you.
In the meantime, let's get this door.
Are there any devices on the ship that can detect movement or heat sensors or any kind of way to detect creatures besides my eyes?
Sure, absolutely. I think that sounds cool. Yeah, you've got some sort of like biometric scanning devices that have a limited range, let's say, out to a certain distance from the ship. But I think that seems like it would be pretty sweet.
Is that some kind of equipment roll or something you'd like me to roll?
No, you go ahead and activate that sensor. Okay. And you can see that just along the perimeter of the radius of your sensing device, you pick up heat signatures of creatures moving. There are maybe 3 of them, maybe 6, maybe a dozen. It's hard to say because they come in and out. They seem to be at a distance from where you are.
Can I determine how much distance? Like 180 feet, a mile? Like I don't know how.
It's pretty close. So I would say it's probably like 60 feet, 60 to 80 feet out from your ship.
60 to 80 feet. And would the heat signatures be enough for like a human size or something smaller?
Both. You could probably detect things smaller because as you know, like on these places where you would land to pick up cargo, sometimes there are, terrestrial beings that live on these, and we're talking more like, like bugs. We're talking maybe some animal-like life bioforms is what you call them. So there's bioforms that you could pick up and want to know about. If you have a crew that is, for example, loading cargo, you'd want to know if there were the locals were showing up to say hi, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, and if Dimitri tells the group that, Yael might be able to
give a
provide some insight.
Okay. And does it seem like as the team is corresponding with each other and doing movement, and as I can see them out the window moving towards the door, can I tell if the heat signatures are reacting to the noise that they're making? Like, can I see them actively moving towards them because they're making noise, or is it just sporadic movement?
It is not sporadic. At first you think it is, but then you get a sense that they're moving towards your companions.
Corporal Hayes. There are numerous creatures, 6, maybe a dozen, that are approaching your location, at least humanoid size. They seem to be aware of your presence. I would be very careful, and be on the ready to defend yourself. I cannot tell what type of creature, but they seem to be quite aware of you. Stand by.
Copy that. Now, Dave, did I bring a weapon of any sort out to do this little door opening rendezvous, or no?
Do you have weapons in your loadout?
In my loadout, I have a combat knife.
So you have a combat knife.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, go ahead, Kev. I have a question for Dave.
Go ahead.
when
No,
you're
you go ahead.
done.
Go ahead.
Would I know what types of creatures, based on my experience and my expertise, would I know what types of creatures can live on a rock like this in this type of environment? Because we can't breathe here, right?
Yeah, there's no atmosphere.
Yeah. So would I know what types of creatures could like survive with no atmosphere of that size?
It is highly irregular for there to be anything living outside of the habitat modules that the humans are working in residing in. Highly irregular. With your training, you have, like I was going to ask you earlier, but I think you probably have like a PhD in exobiology, right?
Yeah.
So you know that there are in some cases strange, smaller sized insect-like creatures that can live within the insides of astral bodies like this. But yeah, it's weird that they would be, as Dimitri said, sort of like a humanoid sized creature. And that's when you look out, everybody kind of looks at after the communications from Dimitri, and you look out and you can see at one point these creatures start to emerge from the rocks, and they are this kind of strange, almost like spider-like long spiked legs. They have these, they look to be kind of humanoid, like this large sort of torso with multiple legs coming out of it, and what appears to be a head-like structure with multiple eyes on it. It looks insectoid and humanoid all at once. I need everybody at this point to make a, I need everybody to make, first of all, a fear, thank you, Scarpy. I need everybody to make a fear check as these creatures come out.
Great.
And we just got forced panic, didn't we?
Yeah, you did. Yeah. So first of all, make a fear check.
I didn't get it.
Fail?
I failed.
Oh no.
Hayes is going to fail with a 76 over 45.
Okay. And remember, if you fail with double digits, that's real bad.
No, I got an 82. But
Okay.
I will say, for flavor, the fear is just the knowledge that creatures of this size cannot exist without atmosphere.
Absolutely. I love that.
I think that's what contributes to it, that this is impossible. This is scientifically impossible.
Dimitri, did you succeed or fail?
I did succeed. Rolled a
Okay, and
22.
RT? What'd you roll?
Oh, 22.
Oh, so 22, that is a critical success.
Nice.
So we'll say that you're able to give your companions enough of a heads up where they will have, I'm going to give them one advantage on a specific task. If you guys try to get the door open, I will give you an advantage roll on that because of that critical success. RT, what did you roll on the fear check?
A 9. I'm good.
Okay, so RT maintains composure.
Those things are funny looking.
Garcia falls apart. I need everybody to make a panic check. Remember, that's a D20 roll, and that is you want to roll over your current stress.
I got a 17.
Okay.
I got to roll over a 2. I rolled an 11.
Okay.
I got a 17 over my current 3.
Okay. Dimitri?
Rolled a 9.
Okay.
Still
So
higher.
you all succeed on your panic check. Luckily, you turn back to the door. What are you going to do? These things are starting to close in. They're not moving fast. They're sort of like creeping in, almost as if they're like hunting you.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for that manual override for the mechanism, and like I would guess it's in this area.
Oh, you could try to hack the panel. Like you could try to hack into the panel itself if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
And use.
Are
like
we
a
closer
jury
to the
rig.
door or to the vehicle we came in on?
You're closer to the door at this point.
Okay. I will say, everyone inside.
Well, give me a minute.
Give us a roll, RT, with advantage if you want to try to jury rig a way into this place.
Oh yeah, I get
to
to
hurry,
use
they're
jury
coming.
rig. Yay.
Yeah, you do.
That's a plus 10, so I got to roll up. I got a 50-50 chance, so that's what that is.
Come on. And you have
I roll
advantage.
a 15.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you look back at you unfazed by these things. You're like, I have a job to do. That's why I'm here. RT turns the panel, starts working it, and you are able to get into it. You pull the top of the panel off. It's all these wires and like transistors and things, and you start to work them, and you switch. You've done this before. I don't know why you've hacked into places, and we can talk about that later maybe. But you're able to.
It's oddly familiar. Just saying.
He works very quickly, let's say, and eventually you get the panel lights up. You kind of like push the panel back in. It's kind of just hanging out of its mount, but you hit the button and then the door opens up. The cargo bay inside. What do? The four of you.
I'm going in and turning to the door controls to shut it.
Garcia's like, this doesn't look good, Corporal.
Hurry, they're coming.
Get in here.
Inside. And I'm going to say, Dimitri, safety protocols on the vessel now. And I'm going to turn, and I'm going to try to make it so that Garcia and I are the last ones through the door.
I shut the door
close
behind
and
them.
seal the ship.
The ship is sealed off. You put the blast shield onto the doors themselves. You guys get inside the cargo bay and you close the door down just as these things are kind of like coming up to like check you out. Garcia is like breathing heavy. That was a close one, Corporal.
What were those things?
Doctor?
I turn to them, and because I did fail my fear check, I'm pretty shaken. I have absolutely no fucking idea. That out there is scientifically impossible. There's no atmosphere. Creatures that large cannot exist.
Well,
on a rock like this, like maybe a teeny tiny biological organism, maybe some kind of bacteria could survive out there, but those things were huge.
I don't know anything about science, man, but I guess we saw the impossible.
I think immediately Yael goes into, we got to find out where everybody is in here. And I think with her training, she's worried that potentially those things have gotten inside.
All right. So where you find yourself right now, for the three of you and Garcia, is this large cargo bay hangar type area where there are tracked vehicles that are used in the mining operations. There are large crates filled with all manner of material. You're not sure. You haven't taken the time to investigate that yet, but there is at the far end of the cargo bay, maybe 60 feet across, there's another set of doors that presumably go into the main habitat. So right now you definitely have your vac suits on and you do not have atmosphere inside the space to work. So typically when they're working in the cargo bays, it's, they're in vac suits. But you have a sense that if you go to that door and go inside the habitat, that you might be able to then, access the oxygen and the habitable parts of the particular mining colony. Thank you so much, Doc, for cheering. Each of you has an additional advantage. Thanks, Doc.
So does that mean we have 2 advantages now?
You do.
Yep.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we this is a great spot, I think, to take a break with Dimitri having watched his companions disappear into the facility. These creatures that you watch sort of like approaching them scatter and kind of disappear into the darkness surrounding the space. And as you sort of monitor their biometrics, they disappear into the darkness of this asteroid. And my friends, we're going to disappear for just a couple of minutes here as we gather ourselves together, grab some additional beverages, and we will come back to find out what happens next. You guys, thank you so much. I hope you're having a good time, and I'm really excited to see what you guys discover inside. I had no idea you were going to almost crash the ship. That was not.
Yes, you
did.
Yes, you did. You knew.
It was a beautiful way to start. I'll say
It
that.
was.
Good
It
job.
was. Great stuff.
I like what you guys are doing. So we will take a quick break. We'll come back in just a few minutes, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, we are back, I think. Hello, we're back. Thanks for everybody for hanging out. Really quick, want to just make sure that you're aware that this is a game and show really that is a bit mature in its content. It's we want to make sure that you're aware of the fact this is sci-fi horror and that there is some gore and violence and some other things. This whole game, Mothership RPG, is based on the mechanic of stress and panic, and there's an element of impacts to mental stability throughout the game. So just be aware of that. We've also got some flashing lights that come up occasionally when people force panic checks upon us and that sort of thing using channel points. We do have some, what I've been calling the dark forces, which will pop up on the screen here. You can see that there are opportunities to cheer for advantages to help our team in their endeavors. And for each sub and resub, which we just got a gift sub, everybody's stress goes down by 1. So let me make an update to that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Very much, yeah, absolutely. So you are back down to 2.
I'll resubscribe myself.
Dimitri, you are at.
I'm gonna resubscribe the next time I take stress.
That's it.
There you go.
Can I store that? Because I'm still at 2.
Nope, you can unfortunately store it. It is just a one-time, in-the-moment deal, but that does drop you all back down to 2. So congratulations, you've recovered some of the stress. So actually, Michael, in some that you've backfired on your plans to improve the stress situation. Well, actually, you have improved it, but not increased it. So anyhow, thank you so much. Okay, it's GM for giving everybody another advantage. So all of the players have another advantage. Yes. Thank you, Miko. Great to see you. Nice.
3 advantages.
3, baby.
Make sure you use those when you need them. All right.
Oh yeah.
So, my friends, you have gained access to the main cargo bay of the facility that you've landed at. You have one party, your pilot Dimitri, who is still in the Mini Mule cargo hauler. And you have identified that the damage to the ship itself is great enough to ground you in terms of being able to jump off the rock and get through the dust storm that has sort of caused some of the problems on your descent, but that you could potentially do some repairs if you were able to get the ship inside the cargo bay. So, as Dimitri, as you run a second diagnostics, you gather this information that you're going to have a hard time getting off the rock if you don't do some additional repairs.
What is the status on the door? Ground crew, we need to get to the ship repaired if we're going to get off this rock.
I'm checking out the blast door. I just don't know how fast or slow it'll be.
Do you have any visual on the numbers that you saw before, Dimitri?
They're gone at the moment. I will keep an eye out.
Sure.
I'll be your eye in the sky.
Also,
Grounded.
Dimitri, if you can, any information you have on those creatures, I need you to back it up. I need you to put it on a second server. I don't care how. We need to get that information however we can.
I will input it in the log. Over.
Do you know something that we don't know, Doctor?
I know what I just told you, which is that is impossible, and I need to get as much information about that as I possibly can.
I understand. In the meantime, I want to make sure we get Dimitri in here. We need the mule fixed up and ready to go in case we need to leave this rock, and I want to make sure that everyone is together. That's one less different direction that we need to focus our forces. Garcia, if you could, you and I'll be on point. RT, if you can get the door back open, we will escort him in.
I'll look.
I think while they're all doing that, I want to go to like the back, because you said there's like a door going to where the like life support system is, and I want to go back there and check it out and make sure that the life support is on and working and all of that stuff.
Doctor,
Okay,
I
yeah.
wouldn't be traveling too far in case we have other visitors inside.
Well, aren't we just like in the hangar? I was just gonna stand
are.
back and look at that door and make sure everything's set while you guys are working on this.
I think you and I are going to have a long, deep talk about mission parameters pretty soon, Doctor.
Yeah, but I don't think I report to you, so I'm gonna go and get
Garcia
out of
just
the way
looks
of the
over at
ship.
you, at Hayes, and goes, I'll stick with her. And he follows you, Yale, as the two of you walk over to, there's a door that goes into the habitat component of this facility, and it appears once you reach that door, you look at the control panel on the side, and it too is not operational. It seems to have malfunction, and there's no power to it or something. But you can look through. There's like a small glass sort of like plate window you can see inside, and it's dark.
Cool. I just want to be like doing that and looking at that while you guys are working on what you're working on.
Dimitri, you're aboard the mini mule waiting for something, and eventually your friends inside are able to jerry-rig the controls of the large bay doors, and they begin to open. So you can see that it's opening up, and it's about that time when you look down at your control panel to start to turn on some of the mini thrusters so that you can move forward. And you look down, and it's almost like there's ice has formed across the instrumentation in front of you. It's cold to the touch with your hand, even through the gloves that you have on. You look back up at the bay door, and you can see that the windows of your cockpit have iced over. And for a moment, as you look in, you see something, or maybe it's someone, you're not sure. It's not one of those creatures. Who is it?
Hey. Dimitri will put his hand up into the glass itself. Be like, is it Nadia? Put my hand on the glass. Is the glass cold?
The glass is ice cold.
I will just start hitting the glass. Nadia.
You see this reflection start to come into focus, and there's hands that are against the glass looking in, and it is indeed your sister, and she appears to be almost like floating as if in water, looking through this frosty glass, looking at you momentarily. I need you to make a sanity save.
You have advantage.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
You just were quiet for so long.
I got a 67 for that first time, but which would not make it, but I have advantage, so I'm rolling again.
Come on.
10. Made it.
Okay, so you make it. So you look, and you have a moment where your sister is just kind of like looking at you, almost with her eyes pleading with you for something.
I'm coming. I'm going to get up and start looking for the vac suit. Like, I can't do anything here. Just frantically trying to find the vac suit.
You go to where the vac suits are, and you see your vac suit hanging there, has your name written on it. You start to put it on, and then you look back at the instruments and the front glass, and it is completely normal, like you would expect it to be. There's no frost. There's no anything.
Throw my helmet back at the cockpit, hit the glass.
At this point, the rest of you are like wondering what's taking so long.
Yes, Hayes has stepped out of the door. He's actually got his combat knife. He slowly slid it out, and he's got it behind him. And he's motioning for the mule to come forward, and he's realizing it's not coming forward. So he looks around, makes sure there's nobody around. He moves closer, and he waves again. Dimitri, are you all right in there? Hayes to Dimitri.
Stand by. Sorry, I had a little bit of a moment. But, I have visual. I will start my approach now.
Ping! Ping! Dimitri, you look at the instruments, and you can see that your bioscanner is picking up the bioforms again, as they are now starting to kind of converge again on your location. You fire up the thrusters to move your ship.
Ground crew, we do have creature sightings. I'm going to work as fast as possible. Over.
Copy that. And Hayes is going to start looking around to see if he sees any actual visual, like by his naked eye, of any of these things. And he looks back to the hangar bay for just a moment to make sure nobody else has followed him out, because one of our crew here has a mind of her own. And then he's going to take the knife and just have it ready at the side.
Okay, yeah, you do see them as the ship fires up and is starting to sort of like use the thrusters to move itself towards into the hangar. You can see these creatures are coming about in the kind of avoiding the back end of the ship, but coming around the sides, flanking it. And there's one that's coming straight for you. It's like 30 feet out. It's 20 feet out. It's 15 feet out. The ship is going into the bay. RT is at the door, like ready to kind of close the blast shields of the hangar doors. It's 10 feet away from you.
Yeah, I put my hand up behind me, like to have him be ready, and I'm slowly starting to back up towards the door. The knife is in front of me as I'm backing up.
The ship clears the door. Dimitri, give me a speed check. We'll just kind of see if you're able to get in before the creature slips in.
I got a 4.
Okay, very nice. So yeah, you're able to use the thrusters to navigate the ship in and set it down. And that's when RT hits the panel and the door drops. And just as it starts to drop down, this creature skitters inside. The rest of them cut off, and this thing lunges for you. Give me a speed check, Kenneth Hayes.
You got it. All right, so my speed is 33.
Oh my god.
My speed is 33.
You have advantage.
I got a 13. I won't need it.
Okay. So as it lunges for you, you dive out of the way. What do you do in response?
I take the knife, and I've got it in a position to where the blade comes out from the bottom of my hand, and I'm going to do a quick stagger back and forth, and then I'm going to lunge forward, and I'm just going to swipe at it and try to cut through basically what would be the artery that's right underneath the arm, the one that would drop a person in a second if it hit them.
If it were a bioform akin to a person. Yep.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Give me a combat roll. The rest of you see this happening. Let me know what you want to do. Dimitri, you probably have less of a good view on it, but you do have the bioform scanner that says that there's one inside the cargo bay.
Well, it's time to grab the shotgun then, isn't there?
Does the ship have guns?
The ship does not have guns. It's a cargo hauler, so it's not equipped with a military package.
Bummer.
So I rolled. My combat's a 47, and I had to use an advantage. So with my advantage, my score is a 5.
Okay, so you hit it. Roll damage for me with your combat knife.
Absolutely.
You are up close and personal with this thing. It looks to be some sort of a large cockroach-like animal with multiple legs, some prehensile wings on the back, and a bit of like a like a gaping maw sort of mouth parts with teeth. Almost looks circular, kind of like a lamprey.
Ooh, okay. It's D5 damage. It says D5 plus. Do I add something to it?
D5, so you roll twice and you take the better of the two. The
Oh,
plus
advantage.
means
That's
advantage.
right. That's
Yep.
what it is. Okay, so the better of the two is a 6, and that does cause bleeding damage.
Okay. All right, so you do 6 damage to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's bleeding. Okay. It is going to, in response, take an attack at you with its mouthpieces. And
Here's how it starts, Chad. Here's how it
This is how it starts. Yep. Well, luckily you did well on the speed check, so you didn't get more than one. So I was going to roll a d6. Ooh, that's a failure. I rolled a 95. So it lunges at you and misses you. How about the rest of you? RT and Yael, what do you see? You see your Corporal Hayes in like close combat with this creature that's not quite as big as him, but maybe the size of like a Great Dane.
Yeah, I'd like to look around since this is a cargo bay. I would like to look for the heavy equipment they use to transfer the cargo.
Yes, it's there. There are oh my god, I can't. What are the forklifts? There are forklift style devices there. Yeah.
Yeah, forklift works. He's gonna hop in it and try to line up a drive into this thing with a forklift.
All right, give me what do you have? Heavy equipment?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a heavy equipment operator. Give me a heavy equipment roll.
Yeah. Here we go. So plus 10. Speed, do you think?
Sure. Yeah, that works.
Okay. So 55. I rolled a 27.
Okay, so yeah, tell me what you intend to do with this thing, as Corporal Hayes is like fighting it hand-to-hand style.
So, being familiar with the forklift, he's going to jump in one, and somebody left the keys, thankfully. And he's going to raise, as he hits the accelerator going forward, he's going to raise it up about waist level, and he's going to aim it at such an angle where he is coming sideways to them and aiming to run over the creature.
Okay. So we'll do this. You see this coming, Hayes? I'll give you an opportunity to like dive out of the way with a speed check.
Absolutely.
I will say it will be with disadvantage because it's sort of like all happening. You're fighting this thing locked in combat, and then all of a sudden you see RT coming across the cargo bay with this forklift, like gunning it, coming at you.
Okay, that's off. Okay, so basically it would be the higher of the two because I'm doing disadvantage, correct?
Correct, yep.
Okay, so it's a 51. My speed is a 33.
Okay, so you fail. Take 1 point of stress as a result.
Okay.
And you don't quite jump out of the way in time, and you are hit by RT with the forklift.
Excellent.
Let's roll some forklift damage. So let's call it a give me a D10 roll. Actually, give me 2 D10 rolls. We'll do it with advantage. Give me the better of the two.
7.
So, okay.
Wow.
So you take 7 points of damage,
Okay.
Hayes. How are you doing?
That puts me at half.
Okay, so you're half of your hit points.
Half of my health.
Of your
yeah.
health. Okay, half your health. Okay. That knocks the creature down momentarily, and it's basically like impaled on one of the forks of the forklift. What is Yael doing while this is happening? And then we'll go over to Dimitri.
What's Gomez doing right now? Like, does he have, like, what is his position again? He's like another
Garcia,
teamster?
yeah.
Or Garcia,
No,
sorry,
he's
Garcia.
he's a Marine type. He's like a security guy. He's over
Okay.
with you. The two of you are over at the door, and he's like trying to get the door open to get into the habitat. Like he's working on the door. He sees what's going on over there. Oh shit! Turns.
Oh,
and,
I can help with the door maybe then.
Okay. Yeah. Give me what kind of role would you make for that? Do you have any
Let's
skills that would
see.
come to bear?
Well, definitely like my intellect, I think I
Okay.
would roll on. But in terms of skills, I don't have anything specifically for like computers. I just have like my military training and stuff.
All
and I
right.
don't know
Give
if
me an
that would
intellect
apply.
roll, just straight up.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. That's a 22, so that's a critical success.
Oh,
right?
critical success. Yeah. So you grab the pad, you're like, God damn it, you pull it apart, and you, oh, how did RT do that? And you like wiggle it around and you change a couple of the connections and you get the light to come on and you hit the button, the door opens and you look inside and you can see it's dark, but it looks like an airlock.
Cool. So I'll go in there, but I'll tell Garcia to try to grab Hayes because I'm not strong enough to grab him. Because he got knocked over, right?
Leave the door open and he starts running. He's going to run over to Hayes. Yeah, Hayes got knocked down by the forklift.
Yeah,
Not
so
impaled, luckily.
Grab Hayes, bring him in here so I can treat him. We can't treat him in front of that
Copy
thing.
that. He takes off running. Dimitri, what are you doing? You're in the cockpit. You see all this going down.
Yeah, seeing all the shenanigans with the forklift and realized that different heads need to prevail here. So it's time to bring out Mother Russia, the shotgun, and
nice.
Open up that door and save my buddy, the corporal there. So just as it slowly opens, I'm in my gear, just waiting to see the creature come into view, or as I obviously see the forklift, making laps or whatnot. But if it has already passed me, then I will approach Corporal Hayes. If it hasn't, and I see basically like the creature coming my way, being impaled by the forklift, then I will attempt to possibly shoot. Maybe I don't want to shoot. I don't want to shoot RT in the face.
I think that's much appreciated. We'll say that you were already partially like suited up because you had seen that vision of Nadia, which kind of freaked you out, and you were getting ready to leave at that point. So you throw the helmet on, you've got Mother Russia locked and loaded. You hit the button, the door on the ship opens, and you look out the door and you can see that RT has impaled this creature, which who knows what it is, with one of the forks on the forklift, and it is up against the wall. He like drove it into the wall, so it's pinned, and it's like, and you look over and you can see that Hayes is like pulling himself up, having been sort of bashed by the forklift off to the side and thrown, but looks okay. But you've got a clean shot at this thing.
In that case, yeah, I'm gonna do something just close range, but not so close while any of the splatter can get on me, and then just blow it away.
Yeah, you just walk up sort of nonchalant and just, do you say anything epic? You got anything that you want to say?
No, just
dodge
nothing.
this.
I feel like
Say hello to my Mother Russia.
He's silent
Danya.
and Russian.
Yep, that silent Russian vibe. You come up and just, I'm not even gonna make you roll combat. It is pinned, and you take a shot right at its mouth parts and its head-like structure, and it just explodes into gore across the wall behind you, and it just goes limp, still pinned by the forklift for a moment, and then it just kind of and drops to the ground in front of you.
I'll just put the shotgun, lean it over my back, go back towards the corporal, and help him up.
I accept the hand. I pull myself the rest of the way up. You'll notice I'm favoring up one of my legs, maybe hit me in the hip, limping a little bit. And I look back to the creature, and I look over to Dimitri, and I'm saying, nice shot.
This is the third time I've saved your life.
I'm sorry, Corporal. It leans a little to the right. I could fix it, but yeah, I didn't really have time.
That's all right, RT. You did it right, buddy. Is everybody else okay?
Yeah, at this point, I think I would come back in the room. I mean, I figure I don't have to hold the door if, like, we
It's
got rid of
operational
it.
now.
Yeah, so I'll come back in, and I'll look at the corporal. I'll be like, "Are you good for a second while I check this thing out?"
That's fine. Everybody is secure. How's our atmosphere in here?
Bad. There's everything. The power's down. There's nothing in there. Life support's off.
Affirmative.
So then I'll go over and I'll use my scanner or anything that I can to try to like get some readings or get some information on this thing. Maybe use like my hand terminal to like take images, take readings. Like if there's anything I can do to try to figure out what the fuck this thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And like Yael's even contemplating like taking part of it, but she's very cautious not to like touch anything.
Okay, yeah, you start to kind of catalog the details of this creature that's laying on the ground. Now, of course, some of it has been blown to bits by your pilot, but you know, you're able to like sketch in your notebook a little bit of some of the leg pieces and give it, you make some descriptions, some field notes, as it were. You're an exobiologist, so you know how to take really detailed notes, and so you do so. You get some photographs with your hand terminal. This is, you don't have the opportunity to like look through like a catalog of what it could be on your hand terminal, but you're able to catalog it in and of yourself so that you can go back to it later, maybe. But this looks like nothing you've seen before. It makes sense from sort of like an architecture of a terrestrial organism. But given the fact that there's no atmosphere, it's hard to imagine, like you're starting to think more about why this creature exists here. How could it possibly exist?
Yeah. I think, can I use like with a gloved hand, my utility knife, almost like a scalpel to try to like make an incision and just see, like, does it have like a hard exoskeleton? And like, is that how it's able to like retain oxygen or something? Like, I guess I just want to see if I can like pierce the skin quite easily or if it's very difficult.
Yeah, you can absolutely use your tool to do that. And as we'll come back to that in a minute, but you start to sort of like do your investigation of this thing. What are the rest of you doing during this time?
Hayes wants to make his way over to where Garcia is, and he'll look at him and say,
"You all right?
Are we good here?
Well, are you good? You look. That thing hit you. You okay?" He kind of turns you around and looks you over. Did you get hit?
Worse, but are you okay? I'm not sure what was going on over here with the door.
Yale got the door open. There's an airlock here. It does look like systems are online inside the habitat. We haven't gone in.
Can you handle this?
I never seen anything like that, Corporal. Gotta say. I got my shit together, though. I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's just make sure we keep a diligent eye on everybody. They're counting on us to make sure they get out of this thing safe. And now that we've got hostiles outside, things are going to be a little bit different. So we need to make sure that we put this on to Alpha clearance. Get me?
Alpha. Okay. Look, just let me know what you need. I'm okay. He kind of shakes his head as if he's like shaking, like wiping something away. We're gonna be all right. We got to fix the ship. We gotta get inside. He starts listing off all these things like one by one. Comms arrays. We got to make contact with the personnel. Is there somebody from Green Star here? We got to talk. We got to get inside.
Yeah, we will. Remember, Garcia, this isn't like before. You've got this, okay?
Yes, sir.
Good. see what you can about the door. I'm gonna check with everybody, make sure everybody is okay, and do a little bit of some debrief before we travel further in here. I want to make sure we all stay together on this.
Agreed. Let's get everybody to the airlock and let's get inside and see if we can find somebody who knows what's going on around here.
Copy that. And I'll go over to everybody else. So how does our mule look? I'll say to Dimitri.
Fuel is fine. We're running low on fuel. Used everything I had to get her in. So we're going to need to do some repairs, and then she'll hold up. She always does.
Okay.
I know you're fine, but how's your suit? If we need to make an escape and we're not in atmosphere, if your suit is damaged, then we're in trouble.
I'm sure it's okay. Garcia did a inspection. He seemed to notice that it was okay, but we could always double check once we get to a more secure location here. I want to make sure that we don't, and I'll look over at the dead creature, and I'll look at Yael doing whatever she's doing to it.
Slicing it.
And while I stare at it, and there's another memory that maybe scratches the surface of Hayes' mind, and he'll say, I want to make sure that everybody is safe. How you doing, RT?
I don't know. You know, the fork. I am sorry. That forklift. It veers right. It's like somebody should check the wheel. I swear.
Hey, I did fine on that thing, and that's all I'm really worried about right now. So.
Yeah.
Fine.
It kind of worked. I do.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you aiming for the head?
Well, no. I just foresee a problem.
Oh.
If we can't get that thing off of there. I think that's their only forklift.
Well, if it is or it isn't, I'm sure there's another way in or out of here. Once we get to the command terminal deep within the facility, we will be able to get a full dossier about the mapping here. We'll get a full floor plan and know exactly what we're dealing with. Luckily, the mule's inside, and our doctor, I'll look at her scraping off the skin or whatever it is that she's scraping off. She seems to be okay as well. So let's everybody move together if we can. Let's make sure we don't have any men left out on this next movement here.
Yell, you're able to gather the samples that you want. It's hard to tell. This thing, like I said, it has some semblance of a terrestrial organism that you might have studied in your exobiology, but it's not. As you cut into it, it's almost like it starts to flinch again. Like you see a movement of the creature itself as you slice through.
That's what I was gonna ask next is does it seem like this thing's gonna stay down? I guess is what I'm worried about.
You're not 100% sure. All you know is that it does, when you cut through its sort of crusty, hard exoskeleton to whatever the fleshy parts are underneath, it has a shudder. It flinches and shakes a little bit, almost imperceptible, except you're right there.
Is you said its head exploded with blood, right?
I mean, it wasn't blood. It was more like some sort of green, hemolymph type of substance, watery, and it just kind of soaked into the ground.
Do I see some kind of pulse or movement, like a heartbeat or something like that? So it seems almost plant-like in nature, is what you're saying.
That's possible.
Okay, interesting. I think I will turn around and go back to the crew and try to share as much as I know. Do I think excuse me.
Bless you.
Yael sneeze is way cooler than that.
I doubt it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, super cute, tiny. So she do I think that if we leave it pinned to the wall with this forklift, we're probably in good shape? Even if it isn't quite dead, it seems pretty stuck in there.
Well, it kind of sloughed off the forklift fork. It kind of dropped to the ground.
I
So
see.
it's not really attached to the forklift anymore, although the forklift is like pinned up against the wall, and the wall is a
Gotcha.
little bit dented from the impact. I mean, these forklifts don't go super fast, but fast enough. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're able to kind of investigate this creature, and it gives you sort of a plant-like vibe, but it's nothing you've ever seen before.
Yes.
You take a bunch of notes in your journal. It could be a significant finding.
Yeah, no, I think definitely, obviously, the fact that it can exist, like live with no atmosphere, with no oxygen. I think that my concern now is the rest of my mission, because now I'm wondering if the contact that I was supposed to talk to is even alive, and worried about that. But I think I'll come back to the group and I'll let them know like what I discovered. There's a lot of like scientific jargon that's just kind of, she's rattling on about it a little bit, and then she kind of stops herself and she's like, this isn't important now. What's important now is that thing. I'm not 100% sure that it is dead. So if we have a way to pin it down or kick it outside or something, I just can't guarantee that thing's not just going to get back up and follow us wherever we're about to go.
You said it was a plant?
It seems plant-like in nature. So for example, you have a plant and you cut off one of its leaves. The rest of the plant is still going to continue to grow and be fine, or adapt. So just because we exploded what appeared to be the, skull region of this thing doesn't mean that the rest of it can't function necessarily.
Well, okay. I'll take care of it. Sure. All right.
I say we either cover it with something or get it outside, or I just can't guarantee that this thing isn't going to get back up.
Yeah,
And
no,
it might not. We might have time, but I don't know enough about this thing to predict those kind of things.
yeah, no. I think I got it. One sec.
In the meantime, Corporal, let's look at that leg.
Oh, so you are a doctor.
Looks possibly here. We should probably reset it. Can you sit down?
He sits down on the floor and he leans up against the wall. And when she starts looking at it, there's a moment, and then he says, usually I have to buy dinner first, but
But what? And right at that moment, she resets your leg, and it's painful. But what? Sorry, what were you gonna say?
nothing. Thanks.
And then I'll take out my duct tape and just kind of like wrap the knee, just to pull it out. That is part of my loadout, is duct tape.
Nice.
Amazing.
And then I kind of give him a little pat on the knee and I say, that should hold you down for a couple hours until you can see a real doctor. And she gets up and she goes to check on Garcia in the door.
RT, real quick, as they're having this moment of bedside manner, maybe, I don't know. What are you doing? You said you had this.
So he's gonna look around for a bucket, because there's always a bucket.
Always, you find one.
Right. And then he's gonna go over to where the fuel tanks are. And he's gonna first check the levels in the fuel tanks.
On your ship?
No, in the cargo bay.
Oh, okay.
I think I just realized what you're about to do.
Yeah, you can find some kerosene type fuel that is like stockpiled for whatever utility they have it for.
Right. So I'm gonna fill the bucket up, and then I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna try to back the forklift away.
You'd easily do that, yes.
Park it, take the keys with me, walk over to it, dump the bucket of fuel on it.
Thanks, Vamp.
And then I'm gonna light a match and drop it on it.
All right. So as you drop the match on it and it flares up, you hear this screech
A panic check has been initiated.
I saw that.
just did it to
There's a
Right
myself.
after, thank you so much,
screech.
T-Cat. Thank you so much for the advantage right before a panic check got triggered.
Yes, thank you, T-Cat, and then thank you, Vamp Wickman, for the panic check. So
Oh, thank
RT,
you.
you pour the kerosene on, you light it, and as you do, you hear this screech, and you see in your mind this just this death of burning flesh. Not this creature, but you see like something else in your mind. What is it that you're seeing burning?
So it's just a flash, but it's the back of someone's head and long raven black hair that's just being consumed slowly by the flames, and the figure is humanoid, but just engulfed. And the only thing that is visible is this hair as it's slowly being eaten.
Nice. Give me a panic check, please.
Did it to myself.
Actually, before you do that, you're going to take a point of stress as a result of this vision that you have.
Yeah,
So your
I
stress
am.
is at 3.
Panic check, right?
Yep. So that's a D20. A 4? Okay, so you
A 4.
just made it. Yep, you just made it. But you do see this vision of this raven-haired beauty being consumed by fire, and for a moment you recall a moment in your life that was significant and traumatic, and you just pause there and just stand and stare as this creature burns in the kerosene-fueled fire. The rest of you did not hear any of that screeching, by the way. You just see him pour this kerosene, light the match, and this thing burns up. And eventually it burns down to like just the remains of a pile of some sort of life form that you're uncertain of. I don't know what Yale would have thought of that, but oh, look at the kitty. There's a kitty. Is that Kasparov?
Key mascot.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how did you get
It's Dimitri's cat. Yeah, Ava.
Right.
Sure.
Ava. This is Ava. She's playing Dimitri's cat.
Oh, Ava as
So
Kasparov. I love that.
Awesome.
We'll have to get a headshot of Ava.
For sure.
I think that Gail would think that was smart. I mean, I think that fire is like a good way to, reduce it down to ash, reduce its atoms. So, and she saw that there were multiple others out there, so she's not like concerned, like, oh, it was the last of its kind, So, I think Gail would think that was a smart call.
All right. So at this point, you guys have neutralized the immediate threat. You found yourselves in this hangar, which does not have life support implemented. So you do still have your vac suits on. Hayes, you check your suit for damage, and it seems to be okay for the moment. You all see that Garcia is standing at the airlock door, kind of waiting for you. What do you want to go into the mining facility?
I definitely think we should.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to have Hayes and Garcia go last. Actually, no, let's have Garcia go first. That way there's somebody who is a soldier who goes in first just to make sure nothing's going to jump out at us. And we'll have Hayes go last because he's injured. He doesn't want to be in the front in case something does.
Does Hayes say that out loud about someone being a soldier?
No, he just says, Garcia,
Okay.
take point.
Gotcha. Because if he did, there was going to be
Ooh.
a reaction.
All right, everybody.
Oh, now I wish I did say it out loud. No, he just says, Garcia, take point as he gets to his feet.
You got a corporal.
Before
So
RT goes, where the dent in the wall is, he's just going to take out his spray can and spray his tag.
Oh, very cool. What's his tag?
None other than
Wait,
can't
isn't it actively on fire over there?
Well, it kind of burned down. It burned
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of oxygen in here, so the fire really didn't
Oh, that's true.
stay.
Yeah, good point. There's not much for fire. Yeah.
That's why I needed the fuel.
We're breaking the rules of physics a little bit, guys.
Well, no, I needed the fuel. The fuel was the
Yeah.
reason of fire, not the keeping of fire.
Right.
I can't fix stupid.
Nice. So because you're interacting with is that your trinket? Yep. So as we have a rule, once per session, if you interact with your trinket in a meaningful way, you can reduce your stress levels. So you are back down to 2.
Yep.
Very nice. The 5 of you, the 4 of you and Garcia, make your way into the airlock. You go through the procedures of closing the airlock. The airlock fills with oxygen and breathable atmosphere. And all systems on your scanners suggest that the air and the habitat is breathable. The airlock
Excellent.
the door on the other side of the airlock opens up, and you see a darkened hallway. And do you take off your vac suits?
Is there a way for us to scan to make sure everything has life support? We're not going to be.
The scans that you do have tell you that the immediate area life support has been is on, so you can you'll be able to breathe without the use of your vac suit.
Perfect. Okay.
Can we like take our helmets off but keep them with us maybe? And
you could
like, put
carry
them
your
on if
vac
we
suit.
need them?
It's pretty cumbersome, especially now that you're in an area that has full gravity implemented. So it's going to be a little bit harder to carry that stuff around. But there are like locker type areas where you can, basically they have people who work here, and there's multiple airlocks where they'd be able to hang all their gear. And there's spots where you could hang it if you want to.
Yeah, I'm getting out of this monkey suit.
Yeah, I think we'll all follow suit. And I don't want to impose on the narrative here, but did we resolve our imposed panic check?
We did.
We did? Okay.
One of you made a panic check and saved. I think it was RT.
Yeah, with the
I
fire.
thought that was for
I didn't know if it
everybody.
was for
when it was that
everyone,
trigger.
yeah.
Let me double check that. I think we set it up. Let's see. It says force a panic check for one player of the warden's choice.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, okay, cool.
So whoever it makes sense, for it to be for.
Let's be clear though, there, Dave. That wasn't forced. That was I set myself up for that.
You did. You did. And then actually you set up Vamp Wickman for it, and then Vamp Wickman threw you the
Slam
alley-oop for the
dunked it,
slam
yeah.
dunk.
Yeah, that was an alley-oop.
Everything
Right.
going according to plan.
But you
obviously.
succeeded. Much to our chagrin, you succeeded in your check. Yeah. You enter into the space here, you guys, and it is dark and quiet. And at this point, you start to get sort of that tingling sensation going up the back of your neck. As you take your helmets and your suits off, you hear almost what could best be described as a whispering sound in your heads.
I
Hey.
don't think
It's
I
a
can
deep
hear
whisper because I.
Yeah, we can't hear anything, Dave.
You can't pick out what it is. Like you don't know what the whisper is at all. You just hear the sound.
Oh.
We just heard silence on that.
We don't hear any sound.
That's
I can't. It's not working through my mic, maybe, but you hear like this whisper in your head, and everyone takes one level of stress as a result. You're not sure if the others heard it or not. It wasn't anything that was intelligible.
Oh, we heard that.
I'm just trying to make noises now. What do you do? It just like sends a tingle up your spine. You look, the hallway goes in both directions, and it's dark.
There's power, right? Like, are there any light switches?
There's no light right now.
I guess try to look around for a way to turn on the lights.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Dimitri will mess with his back because he felt it like a tingling, and then be like, Kasparov, what are you doing? Oh, and it's the cat who was crawling up my back through the suit, and Dimitri will take Kaz and place the cat in his helmet. Like, stay there.
Where did that thing come from? Has that been with us the whole time?
Duh. Yes.
Yeah, he goes everywhere.
I'm not gonna ask any other questions about it.
Just playing with a cat. It's a robotic cat, so it's just
Oh,
it's a robotic little Pokemon cat type thing.
starring Ava Carollo.
That's right. Her new role as Kasparov. You hear the whisper
Kasparov.
again coming through your ears. This time it's louder and you start to almost hear words in it, but it's still either in some foreign language or it doesn't seem like there's much of a syntax to it.
Dimitri, are you picking up anything on your comms?
Yeah, I hear something, but it's not coming from Colin.
Garcia, do you have any visual on anything?
Bioscans, I got nothing on the scanner. Are you hearing something? I'm hearing a whisper, Corporal.
Dimitri's gonna check those lockers, see if there's anything in there. Any people stuffed in there hiding or something.
Ooh. Yes, there are. Hold on. Give me a D100 roll.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Oh, like stuff. Maybe stuff that's in there.
I thought he meant yes, there are people stuffed in there, and I was like,
Yeah,
what?
that's what I was like, wait, what?
I love it when people ask that question.
Yeah, I guess we didn't go over characters' heights. So who's short enough to be stuffed in a locker? That's the important question.
Oh, nice. What did you
Marquis
roll as
not.
you searched the first locker?
23.
23.
Nice.
Okay. Well, this actually could be very helpful. You find a small bag inside of one of the lockers next to some coverall type jumpsuit. And inside the bag, it looks like it's some sort of a granola type snack mix.
Okay.
Do you take it or do you leave it in the locker?
Oh, I'll take it. I don't know how long we're gonna be.
So you have a small bag of granola.
Granola. All right.
It
Anything
looks like
else?
the lockers don't seem to, that one doesn't seem to have much in it. Like I said, it's got coveralls. It looks like someone's work locker. Maybe like some old, maybe like there's an old book inside with worn pages, some romance novel of some kind.
I will pick the romance novel, throw it to the doctor.
She rips it in half in front of you.
Wow.
What makes you think I'd like a book like this?
I just figured you like books.
Is it because I'm a woman?
I just thought you liked reading.
Nice save. And she like throws it against the wall.
Easy now.
See, I look over to the Corporal Hayes. How did she know what the content of the book was unless she has read it?
There's like a Fabio on the cover
Totally.
with like Harry's like making out with some woman.
Yeah.
As you look down and you can see the cover, and it definitely has the long Fabio hair, and they're kind of like embracing a woman, a scantily clad woman, and the title of it is Star-Crossed Lovers.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then
Yeah.
I will take the pieces of it and, have a little patch that has a pinup woman riding a missile. And so I'm just gonna take the cover that's been broken off, and I'm just gonna like put it in my pocket.
Save that for later.
I think
Nice.
I'm again looking for light switches still.
Yeah, I just,
All right.
yeah, Hayes just kind of chuckles to himself, and yeah, he's looking for light switches as well.
So
RT never stopped.
you know that you can typically be able to access the system of a facility to at least get some sort of contact with the operating system of the facility. And so you'd be able to try to attempt that through the paneling. There's some panels at the doors, right? So you can try to get into the mainframe, as it were. And
Yeah,
in
you
this
can try that.
situation, yeah, you could try that. So let's say this: you guys are feeling a little bit panicked and a little bit feared because of this whispering that's going on. And so why don't you, in fact, let's do this. Why doesn't everybody make a quick fear check for me as you guys have kind of been ignoring it, but the whispering is starting to get louder in your ears. So everybody give me a fear check.
I'm going to use one of my advantages.
Okay.
29. I made it.
Okay.
5.
I made it.
Okay.
Just barely.
I'm going to use an advantage too.
I got a
Okay.
26 and my fear is 27.
Ooh.
Nice. Just squeaked in.
I got a 99 and an 11.
An 11.
Yeah.
All right. So an 11 is a critical success. So actually, you kind of pull yourself together and you reduce one level of stress.
Oh, nice.
Wow. All right. That 99 was the first roll.
Yeah, the 90. If you had to go with the 99, things would have gotten really bad for you.
Yeah.
Real bad. All right. So nevertheless, like, you can't ignore it any longer. Like, the sound of the whispering is getting louder and louder. It's starting to almost give you guys headaches as it's rattling around inside your heads. And you can see that Garcia did not make the save and is like kind of down on one knee. Corporal, do you hear it? Do you hear it? And he kind of like reaches up as if he's trying to reach for something and he can't quite grasp. And meanwhile, Yael, you're tapping into the system. Give me a, do you have any sort of computer operations or? No. Okay. So just give me an intellect roll.
Okay. Pretty good at that. Yeah, I got a 28. My intellect is 48.
Very nice. You get into the system and you can see that it is on some sort of power, like conserving power mode. So it's not utilizing full power to power the facility. It's on some sort of a lower setting where it is preserving some of its reserves. But you can turn on the lights if you want to. For example, you could. There's multiple systems that you could turn on and off with this potentially.
I think I will go to turn on the lights and then I'll motion RT to come over and take a look and say, well, what else do you think we should turn on potentially?
As you do, these illuminators light up along the corridor in both directions, and you can see just kind of this stark hallway that you might expect in a facility like this. There's no accoutrement or anything like that. It's just a very stark area. And as you light up the hallway to the right, you look down and it goes on and there's some doors along the sides, and to the left you look down and there's some doors along the side, and that's when you see that there is a pile of bodies laying there. I need everybody to take one level of fear and make me a panic check. And that's where we do this thing.
One level of fear?
Yep. So you're back up to 3. Hey, Ronan.
Oh, stress.
Also a level of
you mean
stress.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. 1 level of stress. My bad.
All right. Just checking.
Hayes, you
I got
are
a
at
16.
4.
Yeah, I'm at 4.
Dimitri,
So did
you're
I.
at 4.
I'm at 3, I
And
think.
Yael,
Or I'm at
you're-
4.
No, you're at 4 as well.
I'm at 4.
I'm at 3.
I got a 16.
I got 16. Yeah.
I passed my check with a 13.
Okay.
I passed my check with a 4.
Oof, nice. Very lucky. You look down the hallway and you can see that there are a pile of dead bodies laying there. They have these Sundian Holding jumpsuit. You've seen that jumpsuit in the locker. It has like the patch of Sundian Holdings in it, which is, the company that has the claim to this asteroid for the mining facility. And you can see that they are in various states of disassembly, shall we say. It is not a pretty sight. It doesn't look like they've been stacked in any sort of systematic way. It looks as though they were maybe saved for later, packed away, if you will.
How much
I'm-
blood is in the area?
A copious amount.
Okay.
I'm immediately checking for pulses. Like,
You race up to the bodies. You guys watch
Yeah.
as Yale
Doctor,
races
if
up
we
to the
c-
bodies. You grab one of the bodies and you check for a pulse. There's no pulse. There's no
Damn.
pulse,
Also no
Yale,
head.
and as you look down, it reaches out and it grabs your arm and clasps onto you. And you
The
look
person?
down at you look down at the face of the individual that's laying there, motionless, and then the eyes open and it looks at you, and it just grips onto your arm tighter and tighter and tighter. You've got to save us. You've got to save us. Help us. The rest of you see this happening as well. Their fingers digging into your arm. The whispers. The whispers. And the other arm reaches up and like grabs your hair and like starts pulling on your hair and pulls you forward. Make a body save.
Okay.
You need to help her.
Body for me is only a 12. So I'm gonna use an advantage, probably. Oh, actually, I got a 10, so no advantage needed.
Nice.
All right.
So Hayes
For the future, you do have to declare your advantage before you roll, and then just so you know, like that's how we'll use it.
Oh, so
in
I
the
have to roll
future.
the advantage anyway.
Well, if you're going to use advantage, you say it before you roll, and then you roll with advantage.
Okay, then I said that I would use advantage, so I will.
Okay, perfect. But you do succeed.
Still a 10.
Yeah, you do succeed, and you pull away as this woman is, now that you can see, is like your hair like kind of pulls out. Some of your hair like pulls out in her hand, but you're able to wrestle yourself away from her, and she's just like, "You've got to save us. Get us out of here."
Do you have a name tag of any kind?
Not
Can
that
I
you can see. Not that you can see unless you get back in there. You've kind of like pulled away, but you could go back and check.
Hayes had gone up to Garcia and was trying to check him, make sure he was okay when he heard this going on. So he's going to make a move. He's limping, but he's going to make a move to go in there and try to help her and support what's going on.
Just to clarify, like, I don't see a monster. I see a person who is grabbing me, correct?
Yeah, you walked up to this pile of bodies. It looked like it was corpses. You reached down to take a pulse of the first one that you saw, and they responded by like grabbing onto you as if they were trying to pull themselves towards you.
I put my hands up to the corporal. I'm like, don't shoot or anything, okay? And I'm going to back up so that we have enough space, obviously, because obviously she's crawling, right? So I said don't shoot. We don't know what's going on. She might just be freaking out. We need to find a way to subdue her that's not shooting her.
Ma'am, are you all right?
What? Sorry, you both talked to this kid.
Yeah, I could go get more fuel.
That's a woman.
Ma'am, are you... Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That is a woman. That's not a creature, and we don't know what's going on yet, so we can't just kill a person, okay?
You see more movement in this pile. There are other, like, there's someone else, like, kind of crawling. Like, underneath, though, you can, like, see some of the bodies, like, kind of roll to the side and kind of roll off the pile. You can see another hand, like, reach up through the bodies. Everybody is going to take one more level of stress as this is happening. The lights above you begin to flicker, the illuminators, as if they're going to go out.
I feel like I should get more fuel.
Doctor, maybe we should make a quick exit out of the room.
Yeah, let's go. And I think Yael's fighting it because she wants to help them, and she thinks back.
Save us.
Are they still people or are they creatures now?
I feel like they're creatures.
They look like people. We don't know that.
Hayes is just going to stand there with the combat knife, and he's going to wait for Yael to go behind him, and he's going to back up, and he's going to move out of the door, and he's going to close them in.
You can see that the woman who has parts of Yael's hair in her hand, like, gets rolled over to the side as another individual kind of climbs out from underneath. And starts, you can just see their faces sort of like torn apart, almost like a mask is falling off.
No.
Where are you going? You're going to close them where? Because you're in this hallway.
They're in the hallway.
Oh, and we just had a panic attack triggered.
Oh, panic attack.
Damn it.
So I will say in this case, everybody is going to make a panic check.
Yes.
Because this situation is bad news.
I passed over my 5 with a 14.
Nice.
I'm at 5, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I got 6.
Oh, you lucky ducky.
Because if I got a 5, that's a fail, right?
That's correct. You got to roll over it. Yep.
My God.
RT
I got a 15. I'm good.
and Dimitri.
Well, I'm going to use my ability once per session. I may take advantage on a panic check.
All right.
I will use my Teamster ability.
Oh.
Oh yeah, thanks for reminding me. I gotta remember. Yeah. I've got.
So you have a 5 stress currently, Dimitri.
That's a roll high, right?
Yep. You want to
Above
roll
5?
over a 5. Yep.
Yeah, I got a 14.
Okay,
I
you're
forgot
fine.
about the trauma response stuff.
So you feel this wave of panic wash over you as this pile of bodies begins to writhe and move. Some of them, others of them kind of like toppling over as there's at least 2 individuals, possibly individuals, I don't know, as they kind of climb out. And Kenneth, Corporal Hayes, you said you wanted to sort of like leave the area. What are you doing? You're in a long hallway. The lights had gone on.
Yeah.
And you looked one way and it was open to the right. To the left, you looked down and you saw this pile of bodies. So you're going to go to the right?
Yeah, I'm going to move to the right. I'm going to try to turn and run with Yael. Try to not pull her, because that's not really how this would go down, but start motioning and kind of leading her in the direction to get away from these things and try to go down and just try to find another hallway or an exit out of here and try to figure out what's going on.
You start like leading the charge, leading the way. Does everybody else follow?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Garcia's like right
Let's
behind you,
run.
like checking, like you're kind of doing your military training at this point, like looking, you can just hear the echo of these moans coming from behind you as you leave this pile behind. Dimitri, you're sort of in the back with the shotgun, kind of like walking backwards, looking at the bodies. And then you kind of turn to move forward. And that's when you look down to the left and you see a small vent, and you see the vent pop open and you see this young girl. She says, "Come this way. You've got to come this way." And you look down and it looks exactly like Nadia for a moment.
Without hesitation, I go towards the vent. Yes.
You go towards the vent. You guys, do you say anything to your friends or do you just go towards the vent? No.
And not say anything.
Come, this way. And she kind of turns and goes into the air duct. Do you follow?
Can I fit in
You can.
Well, yes, I will.
So, okay.
Can any of us try to like look behind us or
I don't know yet. I'm not sure yet.
So as Nadia is saying this way, we cut to Hayes is in the front, this way, and he's moving further down the hallway, and he gets to the end and he turns and there's like a T-junction, and he looks back to see if everybody is still there.
Hold that thought. I love all of that. 100%. So Dimitri, you crawl into the air duct with Nadia.
Well, I will get on my knees and try to like see like what's down there. I will save you. Like, I must follow.
Come with me. They will get you. Come. I take you to safety. Come. And she turns and she starts going down and disappearing down the vent.
Oh, this is strange. Yes, I will follow.
Hey, as you look back, you're like, all right, come on, we got to go this way. And you look back and Dimitri's not there.
And I look, where's Dimitri?
We all turn around.
With that question right there, my friends, that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Oh my God.
We don't know where Dimitri's
Beautiful.
going. Oh my God, here we go.
Hell yeah.
My friends.
Where's Dimitri?
That's
exactly.
That's
on
it.
Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
it.
God, you guys, that was awesome. That was great, Kevin. Like, you go down the corridor and you're like, wait a minute, where is he? That was perfect. This is why I love having you guys in this game, because you are co-creating the terror. It's so good. We've got some stress on the board, my friends. We're looking at RT's at 4 and the rest of you are at 5. So we're ramping up the stress levels. Thanks to the chat for hanging out and helping us to alleviate some of that stress, but also to bring on the panic checks. We have yet to fail one, but I'm sure that we will get there all in good time. Yeah, all in good time. Before we take our leave tonight, we're going to go ahead and raid into our friend Phoenix Wacky in just a minute. But I do want to go around the table here and want everybody to have a chance to tell us who you are, where we can find you on the socials and all that good stuff. Let's start with Tim this time.
Him here, RT there. Still not sure exactly how stressed he is. What 4 even means these days. You can find me on Twitter at BlackmoreFlan. Always going to hype up Adventureling Productions New Varden. It's been on this channel. It's amazing.
Coming back too.
So
we're going to have it back for Monday Night Mayhem in a couple weeks.
Yeah, so tune in for that. It's honestly my buddy Ty. He's a co-creator. It's an amazing game. So I'm just going to hype that.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Tim. I'm so glad you were able to make this game and be part of this. I love playing games with you. We've played a lot and we'll play a lot more. So thank you so much. Let's jump over to Kevran Games.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, I'm Kevin, and I am found on the socials at Kevran Games. Tonight I played Kenneth Hayes, our Marine security chief, and this was a real joy. Mothership's a great game, but when I'm not here, I am on the Game Night Heroes podcast. I'm the host and the game master over there. I'm also currently running a game that can be found on the RPG Academy on Fridays. We are concluding next week our playthrough, the very first U.S. playthrough of the Italian game La Notte Eterna, which is a 5th edition setting in a world with the sun no longer rises and darkness is spread across the land. It's very juicy. We got some great players for that, including some folks from the channel. Bleak Season is in it, and Beth is in it, and they are amazing. So, but yeah, this was a beautiful, beautiful time. I am super pumped for next time in chat. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. Yeah. The chat is going to keep you guys alive longer than
I love it. I love it.
Normally would happen. So yeah. And I love the RP between Hayes and Yael. So that was cool. I can't wait to see like what happens there.
I love
Speaking
it.
of which, Rachel, thank you so much for being here. Give yourself a shout out, and where can we find you?
Thanks, guys. I'm Rachel, Arya Galaxy. You guys can find me on Twitter at Corollo_Rachel. I mostly only stream on this channel, but Kev and I have talked about some potential projects, so we'll see where that goes. And I'm super happy that I was able to play our ex-soldier, scientist, doctor, Yael. And excited to see where her grumpy antics get us next time. And I will defend her running towards a pile of bodies as Doctor's Instinct. And I think that I'm not going to sleep tonight. So thanks so much for that, Dave.
Oh, so sorry, but not really.
No, you're not.
I'm so glad
sorry,
you were
not
able
sorry.
to play this game. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, not sorry. Also, hashtag where's Dimitri?
Oh, where is Dimitri?
Dibs on his cat if he doesn't make it.
Yeah, I'll take the cat. Yeah.
Kasparov is cool.
With me.
We need a headshot from Ava so we can get that on the promos.
Yeah, I'll get a headshot for Ava for next week. That'll be
it.
available for everybody.
I love it. Awesome. Let's jump over to Adrian. Dimitri, how are you?
Doing good. My name is Adrian. I'm known amongst the socials of the Instagram and the Twitter as at Sly Sparrow, where talk about anime and video games and tabletop role-playing games. While I am streaming, I'm usually streaming on this channel because these are all lovely role players, and I really enjoy creating these stories together. It's one of those things where time goes by and I realize the sun's gone down and hours have passed. It reminds me when I used to play around the table with my old friends. So I appreciate that. So yeah, you can see me around here on the social stream, probably mostly on this channel for now. And my character Dimitri, I think that there's a lot to come in regards to his character. At least I hope, if he survives next match, the next session. But fantastic role playing. I really had a fun time. I've never played a role playing game like this before, like horror based. That was futuristic. I've been a fan of movies for most of my life in this regard, but never had a chance to really get into it. And the story tonight really gripped me. And thank you, chat, for keeping up with the same pulse of even the chat knew when this is the time they should panic, or this is the time they can walk away from this. And so that tells me that they're along with the ride, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Adrian. I'm glad that you were available for this game as well. I've been wanting to get back into a game with you for a long time. And I love the fact that all of you are so willing to lean into the aspect of, the panic and the fear and what that means for characters. So oftentimes in games, we want to be the best character. We want to be the most powerful. We want to be heroic. And sometimes we want to play a game where our characters can fail and fall apart and explore what that means for a role-playing game and that sort of thing. So I really appreciate you guys all for that. I appreciate our chat and exactly what you said, Adrian. Like it seemed like they knew when to drop the panic button, which was really, really cool. We have a great chat. So thank you to everybody who's gotten involved in that. You guys all know me. I'm Dave. I play games, produce games, run games here on Guild Superior. Been around for a long time. I'll be here for a long time. Come and check me out on Twitter. Come on over to our Discord and get involved with our community. A lot of the folks that end up playing on Guild Superior streams come from our Discord community. So come on over and get to know us. We'll get to know you. And before you know it, we'll be playing games together. We are going to, we're going to go into raid into our friends Phoenix, Iwaki, who are playing some D&D. Give them some love. I want to give a quick shout out to what we have going on tomorrow night. We have Monday Night Mayhem. GM Miko, the OKS GM, is going to be running folks through Ystera, which is a homebrewed setting that he created. Super cool. So come back tomorrow night for that. Tuesday, we'll be back for more Heroes of Greyhawk with me and a bunch of people playing in the Dungeons and Dragons original setting of Greyhawk. And then we'll be back here next Sunday for more Mothership, and we'll find out #where is Dimitri. We love you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're gonna get this raid started. Gosh, I don't know. Thank you so much for being part of this, you guys. This has been super fun, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you.
See ya.
Bye, everybody.